Problem spot, Bishop Ford outbound. From the Dan Ryan to 8094, you have stop and go traffic right now because of a rollover accident. 2 left lanes are blocked outbound between the Stony Island feeder and 111th. That's where the backup is. And the accident at 111th, again, with 2 left lanes blocked on the outbound Bishop Ford from the Dan Ryan this morning. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. The latest now with Andy Robb.
Some fog this morning, then mostly sunny. Today's high 76. Clear tonight, low 60. Sunny for Saturday, the high tomorrow 82. And plenty of sunshine for Sunday with a high 84. I'm Andy Robb on AM 560. The Answer.
Widespread fog across the area this morning. 62 O'Hare, 62 at Lakefront, 58 at Midway. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next on AM 560. The Answer.
Have you saved enough? What are you going to do with Social Security? What will your taxes look like in retirement? Scott Tucker believes retirement planning should be easy, and you should be able to get all the information you need in one place. That's why Scott created the Retirement Decoded Toolkit, a comprehensive resource for your retirement. In it, you'll find a copy of his latest book, Escape Illinois: Should I Stay or Should I Go? This book will provide insight on taxes, Social Security, income, and more. To get your free Retirement Decoded Toolkit, text KIT, K-I-T, to 847-474-3888 or go to retirementdecoded.com. Now, in addition to the book, you'll also receive resources on retirement's most common concerns. Get your Retirement Decoded Toolkit from Scott Tucker right now by texting KIT to 847-474-3888 or go to retirementdecoded.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. A registered investment advisor, this is a paid placement.
The Daily Herald 2022 Best of the Fox winner for Best Financial Planner is Total Clarity Wealth Management. The 2022 Reader's Choice Award winner for Best Wealth Management Firm and Best Financial Planner is Total Clarity Wealth Management. Are you ready for a change? Choose Total Clarity Wealth Management. With a professional team of financial advisors and CPAs, they can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Their philosophy is built on solid relationships and trust, with access to expertise in tax planning strategies, 401k rollover services, estate planning, and more. They can help you be ready for anything.
Hi, this is Terry Murphy. The cornerstone of our practice has been to help clients stay focused on their goals throughout life's changes.
Get in touch with them at TotalClarityWealth.com. That's TotalClarityWealth.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial. Awards are based on number of reader votes. This award is not representative of the views of clients and is not indicative of future performance or services.
Addiction can be a lonely and difficult journey, but you don't have to go through it alone. Simple Steps is a faith-based international addictions recovery program that is here to help provide the support and resources you need. We offer a safe, confidential, and supportive community where you can find hope, healing, and a path forward. With 20 years of success, Simple Steps provides a framework for recovery that is grounded in faith and focused on the transformative power of God's love. Simple Steps meets at 7 p.m. every Friday night at the Quentin Road Baptist Church in Lake Zurich, Illinois. Whether you are struggling with addiction yourself or have a loved one who is, Simple Steps is here to help. Visit our website today at simplestepsrecovery.com or call us at 800-78-GRACE to learn more and get involved. Together, we can take the simple steps towards a life of freedom from addiction. Again, that's simplestepsrecovery.com or 800-78-GRACE.
Hi, I'm Randy Donnelly.
And I'm Susan from Donnelly Auctions in Union, Illinois.
We're the hosts of the Donnelly Auctions Hour every Saturday at 1 p.m. here on AM 560.
There is no show like it in the Chicagoland area.
We talk about antiques of all kinds.
And we can help you sell your antiques.
We have great items and the buyers for every collection.
To find out more, go to DonnellyAuctions.com and listen Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the Donnelly Auctions Hour, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Attention! Road Knights is expanding the Army. If you possess the heart of a warrior, the spirit of an adventurer, and an unrelenting drive to conquer new horizons with 3,000 miles weekly under your wheels, then hurry to call. Join the team that is strong as steel and united as convoy, and be on the road towards the glory. Have you had your commercial driver's license for over 2 years? Are you looking for an over-the-road driving job for the smoothest running, most established trucking company in the Midwest? This is not just a driving job. This is a mission. Visit online at roadnights.us or call 773-672-2062. That's 773-672-2062. Or online at roadnights.us. Call or email today for details on a life-changing opportunity to drive for the best in the business. Victory is the only option. Road Knights Trucking. Join our mission today.
Men.
And women.
It's sometimes hard to talk about, but it takes a real toll on your life. Pelvic floor issues. What is that?
Pelvic pain, rectal pain, pain with intimacy, pelvic organ prolapse, painful or loss of bladder or bowel control, overactive or underactive bladder, and constipation.
Good news. Cotorinos Physical Therapy pioneered many of the physical therapy approaches to drastically change the problems you are dealing with without drugs. Strategies to fix the problem. It's time to make the call and have a conversation.
630-620-0232. Don't feel like there's nothing you can do, because there is.
Pelvic floor issues can affect your sleep, your activities, and your life. Cotorinos Physical Therapy has been helping people for over 46 years. It's their specialty.
They simply know more about it. They successfully treat men and women of all ages, and they can help you too. Call and ask about your issues.
Cotorinos Physical Therapy, 630-620-0232. Go to pelvictreatment.com.
Pelvictreatment.com. 3 Chicagoland locations.
Hi, this is Carl Amari.
I'm Lisa Wolf. Join us every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. for all things entertainment on Hollywood 360.
If you love classic radio shows, The Shadow, Jack Benny, The Lone Ranger, Dragnet, Gunsmoke, and many more, we have them for you on Hollywood 360.
We'll also present trivia contests with prizes, showbiz news, celebrity interviews, games, and movie reviews.
So don't miss Hollywood 360 every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business powered by Mirabali Insurance, Sunday evenings at 6.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. First test for newly installed Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling, huh? You saw yesterday that a judge found officers Ruben Reynoso and Christopher Lycopoulos not guilty in connection with an on-duty shooting in July of 2022 that left an unarmed man in Pilsen wounded. The judge, Lawrence Flood, these guys have been through 13, the judge, in his verdict, said the star witness for the prosecution, Miguel Medina, was not credible because he had been on a 2-day alcohol and cannabis binge at the time, among other things. The officers could have faced up to 30 years in prison, the judge finding they acted in self-defense. So the question will be, early test here, and leading indicator, will he recommend the officers return to work or be separated? I mean, they can still be terminated. So it's going to be interesting to see if Snelling and whatever the behind-the-scenes conversations are with the fifth floor, if Snelling decides to back the police or if he decides to be the next in a long line of political hacks in the job of Chicago Police Superintendent. We just like to highlight these stories because they're sort of below the fold tests of what people that you will know, you do know, or you will come to know because of their positions. Behind the scenes tests of what you can expect during their tenure, both from the mayor and from this new police chief. Not to mention, most of the coverage is about the shootings and these guys being indicted, and then the backstory 13 months later is wildly underreported. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And a related story, just in terms of what's happening in Chicago. You saw the iconic, well, it was for a time, I suppose. The Signature Room at the top of the Hancock Center is closing. The restaurant citing economic issues as a reason for the permanent closing. Economic issues. You mean people don't want to go to the city? Why? Big celebrations, romantic dinners with views of the lakefront skyline from the Signature Room. For over 30 years, we had the privilege of and honor of serving Chicagoans and visitors from all over the world. Unfortunately, after the closure of our city and restaurant due to the COVID-19 pandemic, not due to the pandemic, due to the choice that politicians made, it's sad. One of the problems with Chicago, of course, is the business community can't find its way to speak with moral clarity and specificity about the problems that lead them to close their businesses for even in that circumstance. It's troubling, isn't it? After the closure of the city and restaurant due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have been faced with severe economic hardship, and challenges have been greater than anticipated. Oh, you mean people didn't come back? Oh. Signature Room is just another restaurant. Restaurants come and go. Businesses come and go. Don't get too wedded to it. You know, you sound like an old man. I remember when this place used to be the Signature Room, and now it's an abortion mill / title loan company that we've all come to know and love. I assume something like that will replace the Signature Room and leave that in to our misty-colored memories, or misty water-colored memories. Yeah, Signature Room closing. If you have ideas for the space, if you'd like to occupy it, I'm sure they are taking serious inquiries. Not a bad place for migrant setup, maybe like a commissary. The full memo. I mean, this is sort of a big deal. I mean, it wasn't like the Signature Room had become a destination for locals anymore, but it still had provided some character to the city because of its location, if not for the quality of its food. It's okay. I mean, I haven't been a long time, but just from what I understand. Yeah. The businesses in the building, like many of us at 360 Chicago, were shocked and saddened by the sudden closure of the Signature Room. They've been wonderful neighbors and partners, and their presence in the building would be missed, said the managing director of the building. Yeah. The same thing happened where I used to live at Lake Point Tower with Cité. So, again, maybe not the best restaurants, but they add a certain flair to the city, a certain character to it. And, well, I don't know. I guess I'll just leave that up to individual Chicagoans as to whether or not they'll take anything away from these closures other than just its big city living. Governor Pritzker yesterday, just doing a quick Chicago roundup before we get to things that are more hopeful. Governor Pritzker, Jelly Belly, addressed speaking of migrants, spaces, commissaries, all the fixins. He addressed the tent city proposal. I don't know. They're talking about it like it's one of many options on the table, but the city of Chicago has inked a $30 million deal with that Garda World. So it's a little bit like the way they talk about the Bears. You know, we're still in talks. Well, you did notice they spent $200 million in Arlington Heights, right? So maybe a leading indicator of how this is going down, but that's not what J.P. Pritzker had to say. He's got concerns.
I've expressed my concerns about it, and we continue to have conversations about it. With a lack of existing buildings to put people in, I know the city has looked at this as one of its options, but I don't think this is the only option.
Well, okay. Well, then do we get a $30 million refund from Garda World? What another option? Do you know anybody in the hotel business? As we've mentioned before with JB, you know, it's always inspiring when politicians like Jelly Belly be the change they wish to see in the world, live their dreams and values. Bill and Glen Ellen, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I have an idea for the signature room. They could make it into a new trauma center for victims of violent crime in the downtown area. It looks like that's ramping up, so they may need a new facility.
Thanks for the call, Bill. It's a little high up. I don't know if I was the victim of a crime, if I'd want to have to wait for an elevator to get to the 95th floor. You know what I mean? But, we'll take your suggestions for how the signature room at the top of the Hancock building can be repurposed. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
If your money is not earning at least 5.25% tax deferred, you need to call Professional Life and Casualty. They're offering a 5.25% APY on new funds deposited into your annuity, traditional IRA, or Roth IRA accounts. Rate subject to change. Please call to confirm. With Professional Life and Casualty, you pay no surrender charges, no administrative fees, and no withdrawal fees. Professional Life and Casualty has been providing insurance and annuity products for over 60 years. Visit plcinsurance.com. plcinsurance.com. They'll send you a free guide to tax-deferred, no-fee annuity. Earn 5.25% APY on annuity, traditional IRA, or Roth IRA. Pay no surrender charges, no administrative fees, and no withdrawal fees. Only from Professional Life and Casualty. Call 1-800-651-1800. That's 1-800-651-1800.
Hi, this is Steve. I'm in Italy, away from my business. But I'm not worried about the office or my absence from it. I'm confident because I've got Turnkey on my side. They've helped me solve several problems for my business, so I can finally relax for a bit while I let the business work. Not only did Turnkey help with my IT problems, their expert team gave me a custom consultation that found additional profit centers in my company. They've helped me focus on a new direction for my business. It's not easy to relax when you own a business, but with our partnership with Turnkey, I feel confident, resolved, and ready to deliver. Now, I'm going to relax, have a Peroni, and depend on the direction Turnkey has helped me embrace. They can help your business too. Visit turnkey.pro to start a conversation today. That's turnkey.pro.
The pros at Turnkey share your values. They know IT and they know small business. They're Chicagoland's small business champions. Visit turnkey.pro to book your appointment today. That's turnkey.pro.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, in case you're not watching it, paying attention yet, you should. The Ryder Cup is off and running. Well, Europe is at least. First time since 1989. One of the two sides has swept the opening foursomes, and this time it was Europe, never trailing in any match. That's not a good start. Let me check the headlines with my.
Yeah, Luke Donald leading that team for Europe, the former Northwestern guy.
Northwestern's very own,
yeah. Yeah, that's right. Fog developing across the area, 61 degrees. At 5:32, Senate and House on Thursday advancing bills to avoid a government shutdown this weekend. That's looking slightly more likely by the hour. The Senate voted 76-22 to approve what they call a bipartisan bill that would fund the government until November 17. Fox's Sean Langell is on Capitol Hill this morning.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says there
spending plan, but it's unclear if it has the votes to pass. That's because members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus told McCarthy in a letter Thursday that lawmakers cannot expect to pass the funding measure without more information. Lawmakers on both sides say a stopgap funding bill is likely needed to give lawmakers more time to hammer out 12 individual appropriations bills. Government funding runs out October 1st. McCarthy has been in talks with Senate Democrats on a compromise, but he says the deal has to bolster border security. In Washington, Sean Langell, Fox News.
House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer is issuing subpoenas for Hunter Biden's bank records as part of the GOP impeachment inquiry. Our reporter Mark Mayfield is on the Hill.
House Republicans claim that the president improperly profited off his son's foreign business dealings. On Thursday, Comer released a statement saying bank records and witness testimony reveal that Joe Biden abused his public office for his family's financial gain. He also subpoenaed the bank records of President Biden's brother and Hunter Biden's associate, Eric Schwerin. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Student loan payments are starting up again after a 3-year hiatus. Payments were paused during the pandemic, but starting Sunday, over 45 million student loan accounts will be active again. A 10-year-old girl is seriously wounded after she was shot inside of a home on Chicago's South Side. The child was in a back bedroom last night in the 6400 block of South Racine. There is no one in custody. Cook County judge acquitting 2 Chicago police officers accused of shooting an unarmed man last year and then lying about it. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox says she was obligated to charge, but the attorney for the 2 police officers says there was no evidence to show the pair didn't have the right to protect themselves.
With these officers, is it's like, why do it? What's the purpose of doing it? And I know Jim and Brian can speak on this. Why would you possibly want to put yourself out there where you put your pension, your family, and now your freedom on the line? You know what? Go work for a local 199. It might be a little bit easier.
The officers were in an unmarked squad car when they exchanged gunfire with Miguel Medina and others in the Pilsen neighborhood in July of 2022. One male is dead, another on the run after a shooting in Harvey, where police say the shooting took place around 4:30 yesterday. There was a crash later on near Bethlehem Temple Baptist Church near 147th and Ashland. The governor trying to defend the state's lack of response to the illegal immigrant crisis in Chicago.
When you add up everything that we've put forward, about $328 million from the state to assist in the management of the asylum seekers that have come to Illinois.
Pritzker also expressed concerns about the city's plan to build tent cities for the migrants. The 2023 Illinois fall trout season opens up October 21 at ponds, lakes, and streams around the state. The early catch and release season will be stocked much later than normal because of forecasted and observed warm water temperatures. Illinois DNR says they'll stock the early catch and release sites as soon as temperatures in the water cool off. Connor Bedard officially introduced himself to the NHL. He had 2 assists in the Blackhawks' 2-1 overtime win over St. Louis last night. In preseason hockey at the UC, Cubs in a free fall after a 5-3 loss to Atlanta, while the White Sox avoid a 3-game sweep with a 3-1 win over the Diamondbacks. Lions kick off Week 4 of the NFL with a dominant 34-17 win over the Packers at Lambeau. 5:37 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Freedom Summit Chicago tickets are now on sale. Join AM 560, The Answer, on November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest for Freedom Summit, featuring Rand Paul, Judge Janine Pirro from Fox News, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Lil's Dietary Shop, Blue Star Security, and by Hope Wins 7.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Men.
And women.
It's sometimes hard to talk about, but it takes a real toll on your life. Pelvic floor issues. What is that?
Pelvic pain, rectal pain, pain with intimacy, pelvic organ prolapse, painful or loss of bladder or bowel control, overactive or underactive bladder, and constipation.
Good news. Codorinos Physical Therapy pioneered many of the physical therapy approaches to drastically change the problems you are dealing with without drugs. Strategies to fix the problem. It's time to make the call and have a conversation.
630-620-0232. Don't feel like there's nothing you can do, because there is.
Pelvic floor issues can affect your sleep, your activities, and your life. Codorinos Physical Therapy has been helping people for over 46 years. It's their specialty.
They simply know more about it. They successfully treat men and women of all ages, and they can help you too. Call and ask about your issues.
Codorinos Physical Therapy, 630-620-0232. Go to pelvictreatment.com.
Pelvictreatment.com. 3 Chicagoland locations.
Are you concerned about outliving your money? How would you like to have guaranteed growth and a lifetime of income you may never outlive? Join Mark Kohler for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, Sunday afternoons at 3:30. You can also call Mark now for your complimentary customized retirement and income kit and retirement and income book at 844-619-SAFE. Get the information you need now. That's 844-619-7233.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
5:39. Let's get a quick update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And again, we're seeing rapidly developing fog, especially over the far western suburbs. Further in you go from O'Hare into the lakefront, not so much fog, but especially in the west, watch out for that. Kennedy, stop and go already, Nagle to Montrose, while the Kennedy outbound jams up from the tri-state all the way to Manhunt. Inbound I-26, 390 to the old post office. Bishop Ford, stop and go due to an accident inbound between the tri-state and 159. Traffic, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where you can join today, 560theanswer.com/join. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast, patchy fog, and then sun breaks out and a bit of summer-like temperatures for the afternoon. 76 for a high, 60 overnight, sunny and warm, a high of 82 tomorrow. 61 right now at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Amy will be here. Sure. It's been almost 90 days since Gay Pride Month. Have you missed it? Have you missed the festivities? You feel like we're not focusing enough attention on the LGBTQ2 spirit plus identitarians? I thought you might. Fortunately, LA is leading the way. Good piece by our friend Heather McDonald, City Journal. According to the LA Unified School District, that 90 days since Gay Pride Month, I mean, that's just too long. It's too long of a hiatus. So National Coming Out Day, which, as everyone knows, is October 11th, so it's right around the corner. Throughout the week of that, October celebration, the LA Unified School District is focused on programming that you may see during a Gay Pride Month, but you're probably waxing nostalgic. You probably are Wishing we could get back to those heady days of Gay Pride Month. Week of Action. The district has put together a toolkit for teachers, which is helpful. Use of the toolkit decorated with a black power fist superimposed on neon rainbow stripes. Are you trying to tell me something? Is nominally optional, but elementary school teachers who forego the programming are sure to risk stigmatization, of course. Why isn't Mrs. Kerbopple clapping? Teachers should engage, this is a part of the toolkit. Teachers should engage kindergarten and first grade students in discussions about identity, aided by an activity called an identity map. See, in this way, students chart their experience of discrimination or privilege along 12 axes, including, this is for kindergartners and first graders, including race, gender, identity, sexuality. Have you had the sexuality talk with your kindergartner? Mental health and body size. Have you had the body size talk with your kindergartner? The mapping allows 7-year-olds to see themselves through the lens of intersectionality, which every 7-year-old wants to do. Teachers then post the identity maps on the wall for a class discussion about students' multiple identities. I'm looking forward to October. And not just for National Coming Out Day, but this whole toolkit and the full panoply of activities associated. Gosh, I wish I could sit in on a kindergarten class these days. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Each elementary school day during the week of action will be devoted to a different LGBTQ2S++++ celebrity whose identity, boy, you want to build the suspense, will be announced in morning assemblies. That's how you do it. Get the kids jazzed. Speaking of which, Monday is Jazz Jennings Day. You may remember Jazz Jennings. How could you forget? She hasn't gone away. And her family, most notably her mother. I'm not putting this on the kid. I'm putting this on mom. She's one of the youngest children to claim a trans identity, and then they built a reality show around her. And we've brought her story to you before because Jazz has had some recriminations about what mom and our culture have done.
So, are you feeling like you wanted to start talking about? Are you okay?
I'm okay.
I'm like I'm gonna cry. But
You know I can't get out of my head.
I know. Listen. I
It
know.
just doesn't stop.
It's okay. Give me a hug. It's okay. I know what you're going through. We've been there before.
No, it still doesn't stop now,
I
and
know.
I'm already
Well,
going
the
back to
more you-
negative.
But the more you're talking about yourself, it gets harder.
Mhm.
You're digging in, and it's making you put a magnifying glass on what's already difficult as it is. So this is hard for you. I know, and we don't want to push
And
you
I know
anymore.
I'm the one doing it. Like,
I know you're your own worst enemy.
I feel kind of all over the place, and like my mind is very cluttered and not clear. And I really want to have that clarity. I really want to understand myself and be able to read my own soul and what I want. And it's just very challenging. And I think I'm kind of breaking down a little bit and spiraling into negativity. I just want to feel like myself. Like, that's
Right.
it. I don't
Like the
care.
old Jazz?
All I want is to be happy and feel like me, and I don't feel like
What
me
is me?
ever.
Well, that's because you're a boy. So Monday's Jazz Jennings Day. That's what you're supposed to celebrate. It's wonderful what they're doing for jazz, isn't it? Friday is Carl Nassib Day. I guess the cat's out of the bag. I hope the students don't feel like these selections are anticlimactic in terms of the celebrities that will be honored. Carl Nassib is the first openly gay active NFL football player. Yeah, linebacker. Remember, yeah. Kindergartners are on Carl Nassib Day are encouraged to take a pledge to be an ally. Those who do will get a diploma from the LA School District that certifies that Dan hereby pledges to teach others to be allies and to be an upstander. Wednesday is Elliot, Don't Call Me Ellen Page Day. You know, the actress. the first openly trans man to appear on the cover of Time magazine. And again, this is an opportunity to pledge your allyship. Third graders during the week of action, LA. And by the way, I think this is pro forma at this point, but if you think it's only happening in LA or only happening in Chicago and it's not happening in Downers Grove, then you're being willfully blind. Third graders will engage in an I Am Me activity, which includes guessing the gender identity of Willow Smith, the daughter of Will Smith. And I can't even keep track. Is that an actual daughter or is that a son pretending to be a daughter? I don't know. And then, of course, they'll provide additional materials for the indoctrination, which is the point here. Human Rights Campaign, that even-handed, nonpartisan group, will be providing the reading materials, including a glossary of LGBTQ words for elementary school students, such as gender binary, intersex, non-binary, pansexual. You know, what you want to talk to your third grade. Have you had the pansexual talk with your kindergartner yet? New Prague, Minnesota. They had a professional development concert recently. Conference, training session for the staff at New Prague, Minnesota. So it's not just the urban metropolises, those cosmopolitan centers of industry and culture. No. New Prague, Minnesota. Professional development confab for the staff at the schools there. And this is what the staff learned as they were treated like a third grader, maybe even a kindergartner. There are these mosquitoes out there. These mosquitoes who are not being allies, not celebrating Elliot Page Day. The hurting BIPOCs, people of color, black, indigenous people of color, and other so designated victim groups.
Mosquito bites and their itch are one of nature's most annoying features. But if you're only bitten every once in a while...
No, where are you really from?
Cleveland?
Sure, it's annoying, but it's not that big a deal. The problem is that some people get bitten by mosquitoes a lot more than other people. I mean, a lot more. Whether it's on a date...
Oh, your English is so good.
Excuse me?
Going grocery shopping.
You know, everything happens for a reason.
I'm just buying apples.
Commuting to work.
So when are you going to have a baby?
Watching TV.
We have to keep the Redskins name. It's part of our culture and history.
Or just walking down the street with your partner.
I couldn't even tell you were gay.
Mosquitoes seem to pop up everywhere.
Do you know John? Give me shopping advice. I have Cher too.
And getting bit by mosquitoes every day.
Can I touch your hair?
Multiple times a day.
So pretty. Can
I touch it, please?
Can I please?
It's annoying. And makes you want to go ballistic on those mosquitoes. Which seems like a huge overreaction to people who only get bit every once in a while.
It's just a mosquito bite. Who cares? Just another angry black woman.
Of course, beyond just being annoying, some mosquitoes carry truly threatening diseases that can mess up your life for years.
Astrophysics? Maybe you should try less challenging, Major.
Ow, my dreams.
And other mosquitoes carry strains that can even kill you.
You looked like you was up to trouble, okay? I felt threatened.
So next time you think someone's overreacting, just remember, some people experience mosquito bites all the time.
You're all so exotic. Wow.
And by mosquito bites, we mean microaggressions.
And by mosquitoes, we mean heterosexual Christian honkies. That's what we mean. You really have to see the video. It's a cartoon. You really have to see it. And I'll tweet it out at Dan Proft if you want to see it. Bloodsuckers. White Christian heterosexuals. Bloodsuckers. And over in LA School District, 61% of third graders don't read at grade level. So they're learning the terms from the Human Rights Dictionary. That's LGBTQ2S+++ compliant, but they can't spell any of the words. All the better. This isn't about developing the intellect or cognitive skills of kids. This is about indoctrinating them to be mindless hate mongers, frankly, and grow up to be mindless hate mongers who work at New Prague schools in Minnesota. Chris and Carrie are on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, that thing you played was brilliant. But before I get to the point that I called, when you're talking about white Christians, it reminded me of that woman that shot up the school in Nashville. You know, why haven't we seen her manifesto posted everywhere? If it was a white Christian, we'd probably see it still today, splattered all across the news, her manifesto.
No question. No, you get no coverage of the other incidents of violence. By the way, there's another beatdown in Oregon. Maybe we'll get to it later. A boy pretending to be a girl, like the incident that happened with that girl named Heavenly in Lyons Township, where she beat the heck out of that girl. And now this was a black-white thing, not a non-trans thing, but it's the same idea. Heaven Washington, I think, was her name. A call caught on video. Nobody knows what happened. Whatever happened? What did Lyons Township High School do? We don't know. What did the Western Springs Police do? We don't know. We don't know anything. And it's the same thing with not just the Nashville shooter, but the other incidents of trans-identifying people who've committed mass shootings, where we get into the weeds and the details of every other person's profile, depending on we don't actually. It's to your point. It's depending on their politics, and we know nothing about these other instances. And just to close the loop, the Oregon, we have a boy caught on video, boy pretending to be a girl, beating the hell out of a girl, pulling her hair, beating her while she's on the floor in school, the school building, in the hallway. And what's going to happen there? We have no idea. But Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, so in Cary, there is a woman who has 4 kids, and all of them, all 4, think of these percentages, all 4 have transitioned from their assigned birth into the opposite sex.
Right.
And rumor has it that she wants to become, or she's going to school to become an elementary teacher. I don't understand it. I hope that is not the case. I hope that's a nasty rumor. But these are the people we cannot have in our school, because there's something going on in that home that is beyond all reality.
Yeah, and she wants to practice her the dark arts that she successfully used against her kids on your kids. But don't call this a social contagion. Kids, the preschooler just knows. Right. Thanks for the call, Chris.
Opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hey all, Jim Carr here. I am the owner of Carr Machine and Tool in Elk Grove Village and loyal customer of Signature Bank. As a second-generation owner, I knew I had to shift from operating as an old-school machine shop to what I can proudly say is now one of the fastest-growing aerospace manufacturing facilities in the region. Signature Bank was there every step of the way through our expansion efforts, including financing our new state-of-the-art facility. Their valuable industry expertise and constant communication throughout the construction process made our vision possible. Many thanks to Signature Bank for supporting Carr Machine and Tool. You set the bar high for other banks.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Is life sciences your lifetime passion? If so, you could have the career of a lifetime. Automated Systems is searching for you. If you have experience in any of the following areas: industrial automation, PLC, HMI programming, equipment, facility, process, or packaging engineering, commissioning, validation, project management, tech transfer, quality assurance, FDA compliance and auditing. You'll love any of these positions. Understanding the pharmaceutical and medical device industry trends and regulatory requirements is essential. Automated Systems is hungry for people with analytical and problem-solving skills. Automated Systems also promotes work-life balance with flexible work arrangements and competitive benefits so your career can soar while you're enjoying a fulfilling personal life. Don't miss this chance to make a difference and do what you do best. Go to HireASI.com now. That's HireASI.com to explore an incredible career with Automated Systems Incorporated.
You're smart, you're busy, and don't have time to waste on the mainstream media cycle. Salem News Channel breaks that cycle. Topics that matter from hosts worth watching. Dinesh D'Souza, Andrew Wilkow, Brandon Tatum, and more. Open debate and free speech you won't find anywhere else. Salem News Channel. Not like the other guys. Watch anytime on any screen. Free 24/7. Find everything you need to know at snc.tv. That's snc.tv. AM 560, The Answer.
Still reeling from the U.S. men's golf team being swept in the opening round of the Ryder Cup. Wow. Coming up at 6:06, I'll try and gather myself. Ron DeSantis is challenging Trump to a one-on-one debate. Should the president grant him the challenge? 6:06, now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
A girl 10 shot inside a home on Chicago's South Side. A judge acquits 2 CPD officers charged in a shooting. The SEC is now charging a former ComEd CEO, while Governor Pritzker defends his lack of response to the illegal immigrant crisis in Chicago. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
They don't have much time left. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Your objective, apparently, as extreme MAGA Republicans, is to shut the government down.
Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries wants a vote on a Senate short-term funding plan to avoid a shutdown that would begin Sunday, but House Republicans oppose that. GOP Congressman Michael McCall tells Fox.
I know the Speaker's working on a potential CR bill that has border security on it.
But some House Republicans oppose short-term funding, pushing to pass 12 bills that make up a full budget, including spending cuts that Senate Democrats oppose. Now, House Republicans held their first impeachment inquiry hearing.
This is a tale as old as time. Politician takes action that makes money for his family, and then he tries to conceal it.
Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan alleges President Biden lied about not being involved in his son Hunter's overseas business dealings. But 2 of the legal experts Republicans called at the hearing testified they need more evidence. Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin said,
if the Republicans had a smoking gun or even a dripping water pistol, they would be presenting it today, but they've got nothing on Joe Biden.
In Michigan, a judge is expected to decide whether Ethan Crumbley, a juvenile, should get life in prison without parole for murdering 4 classmates in a 2021 Oxford high school shooting. The Auto Workers Union may expand the strike this afternoon on day 15.
Over 18,000 United Auto Workers continue walking picket lines off the job at 3 production plants and dozens of part suppliers across the country over failed negotiations between union leadership. That's demands include a 40% pay hike, a 4-day work week, and other benefits and job protections. As Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis push back.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Was it a suicide bombing? That's a big question in Pakistan after an attack outside a mosque on a holiday marking the Islam prophet Muhammad's birthday. At least 52 people dead. America's listening to Fox News.
Thick fog developing, especially across the western suburbs, 61 degrees. At 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer, a 10-year-old girl seriously wounded. Shot inside of a home on Chicago's South Side. It happened last night in the 6400 block of South Racine. The girl was rushed to a nearby hospital in serious condition with a gunshot wound to the right leg. There is no one in custody. A Cook County judge is acquitting 2 Chicago police officers accused of shooting an unarmed man last year and then lying about it. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox says she was obligated to charge. The officer's attorney says they were within their rights to protect themselves.
With these officers, is it's like, why do it? What's the purpose of doing it? And I know Jim and Brian can speak on this. Why would you possibly want to put yourself out there where you put your pension, your family, and now your freedom on the line, you know what? Go work for a local 199. It might be a little bit easier.
Governor Pritzker is defending the state's lack of response to the illegal immigrant crisis in Chicago, with more buses arriving in Chicago, a self-proclaimed sanctuary city. The governor says it's up to Republican governors to provide the assistance. AM 560's Greg Bishop covers the governor for us.
Dozens of buses carrying around 15,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago over the past year. At an unrelated event Thursday, Pritzker blamed Republican governors, but was confronted with even the Democratic mayor of El Paso sending migrants.
You know that they're sending, nope, they're doing it because they're sending them to areas where they think that people will take care of them and where people will put the resources forward because this is a humanitarian crisis.
The governor said they're working with both federal and Chicago officials to get taxpayer resources where they're needed. As for the plan for military-grade base camp tents in the Windy City for the winter months, Pritzker said he's shared his concerns.
With a lack of existing buildings to put people in, I know the city has looked at this as one of its options.
I'm Greg Bishop.
Republican governors counter they've been shouldering the cost of the border crisis for 25 years and are critical of the Biden administration for lax border security. The SEC is charging ComEd and its former CEO, Ann Pramaggiore, with fraud connected with a corruption scheme involving former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. The complaint accuses Pramaggiore of participating in and sometimes directing a scheme to bribe Madigan to pass legislation favorable to ComEd. Connor Bedard, a couple of helpers, and introducing himself to the NHL in a 2-1 Blackhawk win over St. Louis in OT in a preseason contest at the United Center. Cubs in a free fall following a 5-3 loss to Atlanta. While the Cubs are a half game back of Miami now, then they take on the Brewers next. White Sox avoid a 3-game sweep with a 3-1 win over the Diamondbacks in Chicago. College football tomorrow. Fighting Illini go for their first Big Ten win when they play for the Cannon at Ross-Ade Stadium, visiting Purdue. Friday night lights, some big games on the high school gridiron. Homecoming for many schools. Number 5 Batavia, number 10 Geneva, and number 4 York taking on number 18 Downers Grove North. The news service of MyPillow and their 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock and for a limited time. Get 50% savings with promo code LIBERTY. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Freedom Summit Chicago tickets are now on sale. Join AM 560, The Answer, on November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest for Freedom Summit, featuring Rand Paul, Judge Janine Pirro from Fox News, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by St. John's Lutheran School in Lombard, Tom Mirabali, independent insurance agent with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, and by OverheadDoorChicago.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Springfield area attorneys. 2815 Old Jacksonville Road, Suite 103, Springfield, Illinois, 62704.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. A storm is on the horizon. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000, 630-834-6000, or charlesequipment.com.
6:08, let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Kennedy inbound, already stop and go brake lights, Nagel to Montrose, 27 in to the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike right now running pretty much on time, about 32 minutes from 390 to the old post office. Dan Ryan inbound, 15 and climbing between 95th and the Burns Circle interchange. Bishop Ford, due to an accident on the right-hand shoulder, you're solid inbound between the Tri-State and 159. I-65 Northwest Indiana, right lane blocked with a car in the ditch. Northbound on 65 between 137th and US 231 in Crown Point. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Andy Robb.
Some fog this morning, then mostly sunny. Today's high 76. Clear tonight, low 60. Sunny for Saturday, the high tomorrow 82. And plenty of sunshine for Sunday with a high 84. I'm Andy Robb on AM 560, The Answer.
62 at O'Hare's, 62 along Chicago's lakefront, and 61 at Midway. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by IDT. Eliminate paper files with the IoT Smart Connected Scanning Device. Find them at ready4IDT.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Amy will be joining us at some point. So after Wednesday night's debate, Ron DeSantis has now challenged, threw down the gauntlet, challenged. I mean, not much for throwing down the gauntlet. Of course he wants this. But the post-debate distillation, DeSantis told Hannity that he wants a one-on-one with Trump. And sort of repeated the same thing you heard him say during the debate, which we talked about at some length yesterday, focusing on Trump's duty to the voters to stand and deliver on the same debate stage as the other candidates. Well, if not with all the candidates, how about just me? Yeah, I could see how that would be in the interest of Ron DeSantis. Is it in the interest of Trump? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Would you like to see a one-on-one with Trump and DeSantis? I would. Who wouldn't? Why not? It's like, would you like to see these two guys fight? Two guys that have accomplished a lot of things in their own right and have never met in the ring? Sure, of course I would. Who wouldn't? So I can understand why DeSantis wants to do it. I can understand why Trump doesn't want to do it. Is there any case to be made that Trump should do it? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro line. I'll tell you, the other thing I'd like to see, and I wish you would have said, in addition to Newsom, maybe as a warm-up, like an undercard, to get a froth going, DeSantis just said, I want an hour-long one-on-one debate with Univision anchor Ilya Calderon. How about that? I mean, we talked about it yesterday with the Univision or Telemundo anchors always feel being compelled. Well, most of them are left, so they don't have to feel compelled. They are compelled because they're part of the D.C. press corps, big government press corps. but always having to lead with illegal immigration and never move from illegal immigration. Like that's the only issue of concern to their audience of Latin American and South American immigrants. Of course, that's ridiculous. But there was also that moment yesterday, we didn't get to yesterday, where Calderon repeated this left meme of the left when it comes to the K through 12 curriculum in the state of Florida, that Ron DeSantis is some sort of, closeted pro-slavery cretin who has instituted this as part of the primary and secondary education in the state of Florida. This was that exchange.
Florida's new Black History curriculum says, quote, slaves develop skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. You have said slaves develop skills in spite of slavery, not because of it. But many are still hurt. For descendants of slaves, this is personal. What is your message to them?
So first of all, that's a hoax that was perpetrated by Kamala Harris. We are not going to be doing that. Second of all, that was written by descendants of slaves. These are great Black history scholars, so we need to stop playing these games. Here's the deal. Our country's education system is in decline because it's focused on indoctrination, denying parents' rights. Florida represents the revival of American education. We're ranked #1 in the nation in education by U.S. News and World Report. My wife and I, we have a 6-, 5-, and 3-year-old. This is personal to us. We didn't just talk about universal school choice. We enacted universal school choice. We didn't just talk about Parents' Bill of Rights. We enacted the Parents' Bill of Rights. We eliminated critical race theory, and we now have American civics and the Constitution in our schools in a really big way, just like President Reagan asked for in his farewell address back in 1989. Florida is showing how it's done. We're standing with parents, and our kids are benefiting.
That was a good moment for DeSantis, and again, to repeat, build upon what he said. I mean, Michigan State political science professor William B. Allen, a highly regarded scholar and African-American gentleman, was the point person in putting together the Black History curriculum, which has been posted all over the place. When Charles Cook over at National Review posted the whole thing, I retweeted. You can look at it yourself. The idea that this is some sort of pro-slavery or anti-Black curriculum or whitewashing of American history is absurd on its face. Look at the syllabus. Talk to the academic who organized and pulled it all together. And yet here you have Republican candidates have to indulge this nonsense from that dingbat from Univision. I wish that's what I would like to see. All the candidates challenge. Yeah, I just want one-on-one debates since we're adversaries. I mean, we're political adversaries. You're not a dogged journalist. You're just a flack for the other side. So since we're political adversaries, I'll do a 1-hour debate with you, Ilya Calderon, or whoever Univision would want to designate. Where's Jorge Ramos when you need him? This is honestly. I mean, I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. It would behoove somebody on that stage to pull a Newt Gingrich, what Newt Gingrich did when he was running for president the last time, which is go right after the moderators, even if they're operating under the banner of Fox News. Go right after them to expose them and frame this for the entire country, anybody who might tune in or might hear about it after the fact, to drive home the point that this is the big government press corps. This is if you don't like the ruling class and you're not, a partisan Republican, you can't like the media because the media is the comm shop of the political ruling class. And I still don't think a lot of people understand that.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
And just to that point, and I hate to break it to you, Amy.
What?
Your gal pal, Dana Perino.
Who got her master's at University of Illinois, Springfield, yes. Gal pal.
Wow.
First female.
That's a real credential.
Press secretary.
Are you kidding?
Republican Party. I know.
University of Illinois, Springfield.
Not Champaign, but Springfield. Got her master's in communication. Southern Colorado State grad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it gets better.
They don't just give masters in communications to anybody. Oh, my God. Dana Perino, the week before the debate she co-moderated on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Guess where she was, we find out.
Oh, no, where? At the spa, getting a mani-pedi?
Of our organization with somebody that you are here to see, the amazing Secretary Hillary Clinton. Here she is.
Just like on The View.
Sharing The View? We're showing the talk?
No, she was at a lectern at the Clinton Global Initiative introducing the amazing Secretary Hillary Clinton. The Clinton Foundation. Dana Perino there, Flack, and genuflect before the amazing Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Dana Perino is one of your Fox News, vanguards of small c conservatism and fair and balancedness and so forth. How's that grab you?
That doesn't grab me well.
All right. So anyway, back to DeSantis, Trump square off. The only thing I would say, if I was Trump, I'd say, I would do it because it'd be fun, but and I hope Trump does do it because it would be fun and entertaining and it may be illustrative of some things for both gentlemen. But Trump's rejoinder, it seems to me, would be like, well, I'll tell you what, Ron. If you give a one-on-one to Nikki Haley and Chris Christie and Tim Scott, then I'll give you a one-on-one because, according to the polls, you're barely ahead. You're barely in second place in New Hampshire. You're definitely within the margin of error. You're just a little bit ahead in Iowa of 2 or 3 candidates. So, if this is about everybody has to stand and deliver, don't just go after the leader in the clubhouse right now. What about you having to debate all those that are vying for your second place position? John in Lake Geneva, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning. It's so easy for the Democrats already told us who to vote for. When Trump was arrested 4 times already, and you could see how they all know this. And it's pretty easy. It's a unique debate. It's a different kind of debate, more so than any time in our history. And it's obvious that you got to vote for the guy who was arrested.
Right. Exactly. That's a bumper sticker. You got to vote for the guy who was arrested. You got to go vote for the guy who died 4 times. No, we're like in Edwin Edwards land on this. I know.
Since I'm speaking in non sequiturs, Dana Perino, her last question where she said, write down the candidate who you think should get voted off the island.
The survivor question.
Do you know what she originally wanted to ask? Cat or dog? Are you a cat person or a dog person?
That's the kind of asymmetrical communication.
And then she admitted that
that's the kind of asymmetrical communication skills she learned when she got her master's degree at UIS. Dana Perino in a forthcoming Fox Business debate. Dana Perino is expected to tell Doug Burgum, Governor Burgum, you are the weakest link.
Dan, cat or dog? Because you had Angel Angel growing up, and then you have Hayek. So what are you? Are you a combo? I'm a total combo because I have a cat and a dog.
Hey, Dana, you go first. Since this is about you, since it's about you, you talk now.
That's what she wanted to do at the end of the debate, but they told her no, do this one instead.
Right, that would be too unserious. Unlike the survivor question. Chris in South Loop.
Hey, vapidity as a concept is calling and asking for its good name back. You cannot. The insult to democracy around here. Biden was on yesterday saying, I am the soul and the beating heart of democracy, and if you don't vote for me, you're going to be rounded up. And put onto the abandoned military bases where we ought to be putting all of these illegal aliens. I mean, even Jimmy Carter was smart enough to figure that one out back in 1979. So you can't win for losing around here when it comes to degrading the conversation. I think Hamilton would probably take one look at all this and say, I'm going back to the Caribbean and I'm going to make money on derivatives or something.
Thanks for the call, Chris. Well, it's not that there aren't smart people on that stage, but I mean, to the point of degrading the conversation, well, it's the media that degrades it, and politicians do too. But there are smart people on that stage, including DeSantis, but not limited to him.
I just don't think they should have a third debate. Just stop.
You know, Dana Perino.
I don't even think I'm going to watch in November.
But also, too, I mean, it's just sort of our own fault. I mean, here again, it's like the electorate. It's the same thing as the electorate is the consumer is the electorate. So what do you consume? It's just like people. I like Dana Perino. Why? Why do you like her? She's a conventional wisdom talking point, you know, sort of mindless Bush Republican who's not even a Republican. Hey, good for her. She transitioned from being a mediocre conflac for W to Fox News and making real money and having somebody write books for her that are unreadable and so forth. And she makes it good for her. Fine. That's America. Fine. But I mean, don't bitch about the degrading of the conversation and then be unwilling to say, well, I mean, but Dana Perino is so good, or The Five is so illuminating, or I mean, these shows and so many of these people, including those who sort of market themselves as conservatives, they have the depth of a cookie tray. Can we just be honest about these things? I mean, one of the reasons Tucker Carlson had the biggest audience and has the most loyal following is because whether you agree with him or disagree with him, and I don't know, you know, I often disagree with him, but at least he's an independent thinker,
right?
And he has complete thoughts, and he can write complete sentences. These people just want to be paid and beloved inside the Beltway. They are going to be sitting at the same table. I mean, the White House Correspondents' Dinner next year, don't be surprised when Dana Perino is sitting next to Joy Behar, and they're yucking it up. They're the same person.
Well, Dana's a lot better looking than Joy Behar.
Yeah, I think you get my point.
I get your point.
John in Crown Point.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I love your show. But, of course, I love Amy more.
I thought we had him blocked.
I thought.
Yeah. All right, go ahead,
I
John.
thought Dan was your guy now, but all right.
No, Dan.
Oh.
Hey, Dana Perino should have asked this question.
What?
If you were a twee, what kind of twee would you be?
All right, John.
I think he waited all morning for that phone call.
I got an Italian tree joke.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Well, first, we got to get to
Oh,
Verlon.
no,
Verlon
no,
on the
no.
south side. Verlon
I
on
love
the south
Italian tree jokes.
side. It's a particular genre I focus on.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay.
Go ahead, Verlon.
Well, I say yes, because DeSantis is his strongest rival. That's not saying much if you believe the polls, but they both keep sniping at each other. So go ahead and have a debate. If Trump wins, he shuts it all down. There's no need for any other debates. And I just say don't do it on Fox. Don't do it on Fox.
I agree with that. And you have to stipulate that I moderate.
Oh, that you moderate?
I moderate that debate.
Between DeSantis and Trump?
Yeah. That'll be a debate if I moderate. I mean, not to be immodest, but I'm going to be
Okay,
immodest.
I need to hear the Italian tree joke because they're running rampant these days.
So and this was told to me by an officially licensed Italian.
Oh, like he had the
Yeah.
Dagutian and then
No,
the Italian
no,
horn
no,
necklace.
No. See now
See?
who's making?
Well, why are you
Italian
busting my
slurs?
onions over
This is
here?
a smart, accomplished Italian businessman. Tell
Okay.
me this joke.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, I hope I can remember it.
I couldn't remember the Lee Trevino joke.
I know. Anyway, all right. So this Italian guy is going for a job interview, and he's in the final round, and the employer says to him, "All right, in this the last couple of questions are going to be sort of a challenge, a test of your abstract thinking, your creative thinking. So I want you to represent a number with a picture."
Okay.
So the number 3. And so the guy draws a tree, and the employer says, "What's that?" "Tree. It's a tree." And the guy says, "Okay." That's not the punchline. All right, now 9. Represent the number 9 in pictures. So he draws another tree and another tree. So the employer says, "What's that?" 9. Tree, tree, tree. Tree, tree, tree is 9. All right. So then he says, draw.
I don't know where this is going, but it just feels wrong. But
go
on.
Draw a 99. All right.
Okay, so twee, 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 twee.
No. So then he puts a little smudge in the leaves of the tree, the first tree, second tree, and third tree. And the employer says, "Well, what's that?" Dirty tree, dirty tree, dirty tree. That's 99. Okay, and so the last question is draw 100.
Uh-oh.
So the pictures he's got. So he puts a little smudge at the bottom of each tree, of each of the 3 trees. And the employer says, "What's that?" He says, "Dirty tree and a turd, dirty tree and a turd, dirty tree and a turd." That's 9. That's 100. No?
No.
I think some people don't even get it, so I'll let you think about that over the break.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, folks. Dennis Prager here. You've probably been hearing my colleagues and me talking about investing with YRefi for a while now. You may have some questions, so let's review. It's true. You can earn up to a 10.25% fixed rate of return that is not correlated to the stock market or the Fed. You can turn your income on or off, compound it, whatever you choose, and there are absolutely no fees. There is no attack on principal if you ever need your money back, and you'll get your monthly statement with no surprises. Just go to investYRefi.com. That's invest, the letter Y, then refi, REFY.com. Or call 888-YRefi24. Folks, this is a solid investment that actually helps people. Just go to investYRefi.com or call 888-YRefi24 and tell them Dennis Prager sent you.
I mean,
you're still laughing about it. My friend Tony D told me the joke.
Tony D.
He tells it much better than I did. 'Cause I was having to think about it, but I got it out.
I'm going to tell
I told it right.
Swedish Fern joke at the 8 o'clock hour.
I look forward to that.
All right, are you tired of heat and humidity, but more importantly, the musty, damp odor that hits you in the face when you walk in your front door? Well, the air from your basement or crawl space will permeate up into your living space. Do you know that the air in your home can be 5 times more polluted than the air outside? Guess what? Permaseal can help with that. Their PermaDry air filtration and dehumidification system is the way to go. It dehumidifies and filters all the bad air out all in one unit. It controls humidity and cleans the air, prevents the increase of mold spores, and removes them. And guess what? PermaDry does not cost a lot of money to run either. When you buy that one at the big box store, you know, we all have them, it's $189 more in electricity costs, and you can save money by getting the PermaDry system. So call them today to schedule your free estimate. 800-421-SEAL, 800-421-7325, or online at permaseal.net.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Dirty tree and a turd, dirty tree and a turd, dirty tree and a turd, that's 100.
Oh, my God.
All right, Greg Gutfeld.
Yes.
Turning into the 5.
Oh, my. That is. That's hurtful.
That's not fair.
That's hurtful.
My cat or dog. I mean, you
that's
decide.
hurtful. Coming up at 6:40, somebody who might be willing to moderate a Trump-DeSantis debate.
Oh.
He's got a new book in his Killing the series. Bill O'Reilly, 6:40.
What are we killing now? The twee?
Witches.
Okay. Oh, all right, but now it's good.
Not sandwiches.
Here's Mike Scott.
61 degrees at 6:32, and authorities in Pakistan this morning say right now at least 52 are dead, 70 badly hurt after a bomb explodes in a crowd celebrating the Muslim prophet Muhammad's birthday. A teen who killed 4 students at Michigan's Oxford High School will learn whether he will spend his life in prison or get a chance for parole in the decades ahead. Judge Kwame Rowe will announce his decision today. The judge heard testimony in July and August. Elon Musk is wading into the illegal immigrant situation at the southern border.
We should let anyone in the country who is hardworking and honest and will be a contributor to the United States, we should have expedited legal approval for anyone who sort of falls in that category. But then by the same token, we should also not be allowing people in the country if they're breaking the law.
Musk was in Eagle Pass, Texas to eyeball the situation yesterday. America's top military officer is headed for retirement. Last night was the last working hours at the Pentagon for Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mark Milley. An official farewell ceremony is scheduled this morning at Joint Base Myers-Henderson Hall in Virginia. A 10-year-old girl is seriously wounded after she was shot inside of a home on Chicago's South Side. It happened last night in the 6400 block of South Racine. There is no one in custody. Cook County judge acquitting 2 Chicago police officers accused of shooting an unarmed man last year and then lying about it. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox says she was obligated to charge the officers.
When we don't hold them accountable, when we don't bring the charge where we believe the charge is sufficient, that flies in the face of the credibility of our entire justice system, and that's why we brought those charges.
However, the attorney for the 2 Chicago police officers says they were within their rights.
With these officers, is it's like, why do it? What's the purpose of doing it? And I know Jim and Brian can speak on this. Why would you possibly want to put yourself out there where you put your pension, your family, and now your freedom on the line? You know what? Go work for a local 199. It might be a little bit easier.
The Governor J.B. Pritzker, forced to defend the state's lack of response to the illegal immigrant crisis in Chicago. He expressed some concern about the city plan to build tent cities for the illegal migrants.
I know the city has looked at this as one of its options, but I don't think this is the only option. And again, we're attempting to identify other facilities that are already built where we could house migrants.
And today's a big day for those of us who wake up really early in the morning. It's National Coffee Day. That means you can expect discounts at some major chains. Now, studies scientifically done have suggested that moderate coffee intake could help you live longer, prevent illnesses like heart disease, Parkinson's, and depression. Connor Bedard officially introduced himself to the NHL last night. A couple of helpers in Chicago's 2-1 overtime win over the Blues at the UC in the preseason. U.S. seeking its first Ryder Cup victory on European soil in 30 years. Didn't start well. They're down 4-0 in Rome. Cubs in a free fall as well, following a 5-3 loss to Atlanta. Milwaukee is next. And the White Sox avoid a 3-game sweep with a 3-1 win over the Diamondbacks. 6:36 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Brandon Tatum wants honesty from politicians.
Whether I trust him 100% or not, or whether I think he's genuine about certain things is irrelevant to me. I just think he was a great president. The man was putting in policies, everybody was winning. So by and large, I think Trump did a lot of great things. And that's why I voted for him, and I voted for him twice. I just wish these people would just be honest, man, and not like be beating around the bush because they feel like they caught up in something.
The Officer Tatum Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm telling you, I love these. I have so many benefits from this. I should be your testimony on TV because they have done so much for me. It really helped me so much.
I've noticed some improvements over time. I noticed that I used to eat a lot of cookies and snack between meals, and I've stopped doing that because I just don't feel a desire to do that. My energy lasts longer. I have more endurance, and a number of things I'm happy with.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
You have the right to know and the freedom to choose what's best for you and your family's well-being. This has been the Trinity Health Freedom Expo motto since it began in 2005. Throughout the years, the Health Freedom Expo provided a platform for reputable and uncensored access to current information and the top products from the natural health industry. The 32nd Health Freedom Expo is on October 14th and 15th at the Tinley Park Convention Center. The expo speakers and exhibitors come from all walks of life and a variety of backgrounds, including healthcare, law, and research and development. The 2023 Trinity Health Freedom Expo will feature nearly 36 expert speakers, including Dr. Bradley Nelson, Dr. Ellen Tart Jensen, Dr. Brian Hooker, and for the private symposium, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, board-certified osteopathic medical doctor, founder of Tenpenny Integrative Medical Center, and vaccine researcher. View the full lineup and register at trinityhealthfreedomexpo.com or call 888-658-3976. Attend the expo on October 14th and 15th because you have the right to a naturally vibrant life.
You're smart, you're busy, and don't have time to waste on the mainstream media cycle. Salem News Channel breaks that cycle. Topics that matter from hosts worth watching. Dinesh D'Souza, Andrew Wilkow, Brandon Tatum, and more. Open debate and free speech you won't find anywhere else. Salem News Channel, not like the other guys. Watch anytime on any screen, free 24/7. Find everything you need to know at snc.tv. That's snc.tv.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
6:39. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time is a service of Lowe's. MVP bonus days are back at Lowe's. Shop Klein Tools and get 5 times the bonus points. Lowe's knows pros. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees, after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 9/29. Subject to change. DeWalt offer valid actually through 10/11. Kennedy inbound, 50 minutes. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The I-42 into the old post office. Stevenson already 50 minutes from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. You're stacked up Harlem to Kedzie. Bishop Ford jammed inbound due to an earlier accident between the Tri-State and 159th. 8094, an accident on the entrance ramp westbound at Burr, and an accident on I-65 in northwest Indiana. Right lane blocked with emergency equipment. Car off in the ditch at US 231. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Heavy, dense fog across the western suburbs. Sun later in the morning, and then summer-like for the afternoon. High 76. 62 right now. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3. Brought to you by Pure Shale Financial Group at PureShaleFinancial.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. As the buses keep rolling up from the south to New York City, Chicago, elsewhere, with migrants crossing the border illegally, but with the stamp of approval from the regime. It was interesting to hear from across the pond. UK Home Secretary Suella Braverman. She gave a talk about multiculturalism, immigration, asylum, what's happened in Britain and Western Europe. I mean, this has been written about and talked about for 30 years at least. the decision that Western Europe made to essentially operate open borders and what impact it's had. Well, now they're starting to feel the effects of it, and some are courageous enough to speak plainly about it. The Home Secretary is one of them. Here's what she had to say.
We will not be able to sustain an asylum system if, in effect, simply being gay or a woman or fearful of discrimination in your country of origin is sufficient to qualify for protection. Article 31 of the Refugee Convention makes clear that it is intended to apply to individuals coming directly from a territory where their life was threatened. It also states where people are crossing borders without permission, they should present themselves without delay to the authorities and must show good cause for any illegal entry. The UK, along with many others, including America, interpret this to mean that people should seek refuge and claim asylum in the first safe country that they reach. But NGOs and others, including the UN Refugee Agency, contest this. The status quo, where people are able to travel through multiple safe countries and even reside in safe countries for years while they pick and choose their preferred destination to claim asylum, is absurd and unsustainable.
Absurd and unsustainable.
That's the absurdity that's going on here. I was in front of the Inn of Chicago yesterday because I went to Pritzker's press conference. There's just people hanging out everywhere. It's at Ohio and St. Clair. And I got to tell you, everyone that was coming out, because families are housed there, headless. Look at this fancy stroller. Look at that. A car seat and stroller. This is called a Brix, BRITAX. When I worked at Channel 5, I couldn't afford that. This is a $500 piece that everybody, look at everybody, and everybody has them. And I was shocked.
So
everybody has the nicest thing they're given to them.
Migrants.
These are migrants that are housed there. Mm-hmm. And they're coming out, and I mean, they must be bored out of their minds, and the kids look bored out of their minds. One kid was playing with a water bottle on the sidewalk. I'm like, oh, my God. But I'm just saying, we're giving these people the nicest of the nice things.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, this is what rubs people the wrong way. We are a welcoming people. They have made a mockery of that term. We are welcoming people. We do want people truly fleeing persecution to see America as a shining city on a hill, to see this as a place they can get safe haven. But they've made a mockery of all the things that we believe. They've taken advantage of our good faith, and you have politicians that are acting in bad faith for political reasons, taking advantage of people's good faith and otherwise good nature, and that's what can't stand. Oh, meanwhile, and it's not particular to one country, it's particular to, frankly, one party, the same party that set up a PPP program in Kyiv, while Americans are, on the picket lines facing 7.3% mortgages. We know what's happening at the gas pump and the grocery store.
Right, but
that's what rubs people the wrong way.
They're living for free on Michigan frickin' Avenue.
Yeah.
3 meals a day. They get nice clothes, nice strollers, car seats.
And to say things like this is to be then treated as some sort of racist or xenophobe. And it just is, it just angers people even more because they know where they're coming from, and that's not the place they're coming from. And then they're ridiculed for saying, how does this make sense? As Swella Braverman said, absurd and unsustainable. For more on this and many other issues, including his new book in the best-selling Killing the series, this time it's Killing the Witches, The Horror of Salem, Massachusetts, which was just released this week. He is Bill O'Reilly, host of No Spin News, weeknights, 5 p.m. Central Time at BillO'Reilly.com. Bill, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
How you guys doing out there?
Good. So you're in New York City still, as I understand it. What are things like, and what's your perspective on what's happening with the migrant challenges to big city America?
Well, it's a fairly simple issue. President Biden could stop it tomorrow with an executive order that says that the United States is going to suspend all asylum claims for 6 months to a year until we get this thing under control. That would take him 20 seconds.
Yeah.
He won't do it. So that's where we have to start. So he could stop it, but he won't. So then you say, why? why does the Democratic Party progressive movement want no immigration law enforcement? We started with the sanctuary cities, wouldn't deport people, wouldn't cooperate with the ICE, Homeland Security agents, and now we're into everybody comes here, and then we'll pay for you. So there's nothing good about this. Even the migrants are getting hammered making the journey across because the cartels control them in Mexico. Nothing good. But again, then you go back to the question is why is this happening? And it's happening because the progressive movement hates this country. It sees it as a white patriarchy run by corrupt white men. And it wants to flood the zone with as many foreign nationals, people of color, that it can to change the power dynamic. And that's why it's happening.
Well, and then there's an orthodoxy. So I mean, even as they're complaining about it and asking for money to be drop shipped from D.C. and saying we have no more places to put people, Hochul, Adams, Pritzker, Brandon Johnson, nobody is going to break with the regime on this.
Well, that's right, because they're all machine politics in the pocket of the progressives. But the people of New York City and the people of Chicago voted them in.
That's right.
Right, you get
Sure
what you
did.
voted for.
They sure
so you
did.
get what you pay for, right? And, you know, it's hard for me to feel sorry for citizens who are casting ballots for these people. We have social disorder all over the country. Every progressive city is dangerous, and yet the people still go and vote for the people that are putting them in danger. So there's little that Americans can do other than to speak out individually about this insanity. There's no two sides to this story. Biden does not have a side. In fact, Biden and Harris won't even go to the border because it's so embarrassing. So in the next year, 24, if the Democratic Party is even competitive, it's a very bad sign for the nation. You mentioned Pritzker. I don't think there's a worse governor in the country.
No, there's
than
not.
Pritzker.
I don't think so
he wins
either.
the award. Yes.
Right. Okay. But the people of Illinois, primarily Chicago, continue to vote for him.
Yeah, but he won because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Because there was some.
Whatever it is, Amy,
no,
it really doesn't matter if you look at the big picture. Pritzker's not going to do anything about the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
I know he's not, but stupid Democrats that were, so upset with him about the COVID restrictions were all in to vote against him, and then Roe v. Wade got overturned. Sorry,
you
can't.
you could stop at stupid Democrats.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to vote. If you're a citizen, if you're not a citizen, you're not entitled to vote, although that's going to be the next election controversy. So, we're living in a country that can go either way.
Speaking of 24, DeSantis has challenged Trump to a one-on-one. Of course he has. He needs to. Maybe you get involved since you have a good relationship with both, and you agree to moderate it.
Dan wants you to moderate, Bill.
Well, look, I don't moderate anything. If DeSantis wants to talk to me, we have extended the invitation. Okay. He's not going to come in and interview me, ever. I mean, it's way too rigorous for him. I mean, like Trump or not, Trump will come in.
Right.
And, I've interviewed him many, many times. Just Google O'Reilly Trump, you see all kinds of stuff. DeSantis has done a very good job in Florida. A very, very good job. I mean, if you are looking for a vibrant state where you can make money and the government is not going to intrude on your life, you take a look at Florida. And people are moving out of Illinois. I mean, they're just going.
I've heard.
All right, because it is an oppressive environment run by a corrupt Democrat machine. I mean, that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I like Chicago. I like going there. I mean, I always felt it was a city of the folks. But now, the poor are getting literally brutalized. Yet the poor will not change their votes. So what do you do? I mean, you got to sit back and call it as it is, but there's really little else you can do if the people are going to still cast votes for these destructive politicians.
All right, tell us about your new book, Killing the Witches.
Well, Amy, this is a book you got to read here.
I'm interested. I like the title.
you remember the Killing series, the most successful nonfiction book series of all time. 13 of them, and Killing the Witches is about the literal horror in Salem, Massachusetts. Put you on the Mayflower, and you don't want to be on the Mayflower. Everybody goes, oh, Pilgrim's Mayflower, pass the stuffing on St. No. That was a harrowing voyage. Then they get here, and they're at each other's throats, and then it devolves into murder, organized murder. And how it happened with little children generating it is an amazing story. However, I wrote this book because there is a witch hunt today with the cancel culture. And people's lives are being destroyed. We're not hanging them, we are destroying them. Excuse me. So what we have in America now is a revival of Salem. And there's very little pushback against it. And it has frightened Americans who could influence the country for the better. Because if you go against the progressive orthodoxy, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're a racist, whatever it may be. And it's acceptable now. CNN did it to me last week. It's insane what's happening here. It's hysteria, and it goes back to the witch trials in Salem in 1692.
Love the parallel. It absolutely is timely, in addition to, again, providing a little bit of a history lesson for readers, which is always nice. He's Bill O'Reilly. He's the author of 18 #1 bestsellers. His latest in the Killing series, Killing the Witches, The Horror of Salem, Massachusetts. And again, catch him on the No Spin News, weeknights 5 p.m. at BillO'Reilly.com. Bill, thanks as always. Continued success with the books.
Appreciate you guys having me in.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. Your business and your money are in good hands with Signature Bank. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Nick Philippus, co-owner of Joe Donut and a proud customer of Signature Bank. We're a locally owned artisan donut shop that focuses on chef-made small batch and craft donuts. We have 7 locations around the Chicagoland suburbs, with an 8th location coming soon. After opening our original stores in Glenview and Niles, we came to Signature Bank for financing for our new Mount Prospect location. From PPP and material delays in construction, Signature Bank was flexible and truly a banking partner that a small business like ours hadn't experienced before. Even their fraud department was able to stop a $30,000 fraudulent check from clearing our account. That allowed us to focus on selling donuts, knowing Signature Bank had our back.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality. Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Did you catch that? Bill O'Reilly a little testy about Ron DeSantis not sitting down to do an interview.
Well,
I am too. I'm a resident. He should come on our show. Yeah, I gotta work on that.
We've tried to get him on here. Why won't he come on here? This is friendly atmosphere.
Not big time enough for him.
Oh.
Bill O'Reilly isn't either, I guess.
And that's why Bill O'Reilly's a little sour about it.
But I don't know. Some of the interviews he's done are a little curious though too.
What do you mean? Which ones? I know you have a live reader.
He did one on CNN. I mean, I'm fine going into the Lion's Den sort of thing, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I like DeSantis a lot, and he's done a great job, and there's no disputing that. But his campaign has just been disappointing. The choices
horribly run. Whoever's in charge should never be hired again.
Well, the choices he's made, though, too. He's the candidate. All right, Northridge Prep, great place to be a boy. What does that mean exactly? In short, it's thanks to a foundation of an all-boys environment that builds up your son into a man of intellect and character who loves God. Teachers and faculty members are mentors to students. And when you combine that with an atmosphere that's fun, competitive, and challenging, it creates an exceptional experience for your son, including the sports, too. You know, Will Ray, former Loyola basketball coach, is
I know. They have a great
there.
Sports department. I love their athletic trainer, Mr. McCormick. He's great. I'm going to miss not going there because we had the Thanksgiving tournament play there, but no. My kids are all grown up, so I'd look like the weirdo going and cheering on the team.
I'm sure they'd welcome you.
They would, actually.
Just another reason to love Northridge is that Amy Jacobson is cheering with us.
Stop.
Northridge Prep has been educating boys for nearly 50 years, and one of the things that stands out to me is their commitment to partnering with parents. You hear this a lot, but at Northridge, it's real. The parents can't stop talking about it because they've built a community that works together. Raising kids is difficult, and at Northridge, you can be confident your son is on the right path. They're having an open house Sunday, October 22nd for boys grades 6 through 12. You can register today at northridgeprep.org. Again, that's Sunday, October 22nd for the open house, and register at northridgeprep.org.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm telling you, I love these. I have so many benefits from this. I should be your testimony on TV because they have done so much for me. It really helped me so much.
I've noticed some improvements over time. I noticed that I used to eat a lot of cookies and snack between meals, and I've stopped doing that because I just don't feel a desire to do that. My energy lasts longer. I have more endurance, and a number of things I'm happy with.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll discuss POTUS politics and the beginnings of the impeachment inquiry. First hearing held yesterday. We'll start there with Bret Baier at 7:07.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
A girl 10 shot inside of a home on the south side. A Chicago man who was exonerated for murder is suing the city. The Signature Room restaurant in the former John Hancock Center is shutting down. Cubs get swept by the Braves, and the Lions beat the Packers. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
More auto workers may walk off the job this afternoon. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I went 11 years without a significant pay increase as the price of everything went up.
Doc Killian's a Ford worker in Michigan who went on strike 2 weeks ago when the first 3 plants were shut down. The union's leader may be about to expand that again.
UAW President Shawn Fain expected to announce the plans today after expanding the strike to 38 parts distribution facilities last week. These contracts with the GM, Stellantis, and Ford, they did expire on September 14th.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni, Congress has 40 hours left to work out some government funding. House Republican Michael McCall tells Fox they may consider a short-term budget.
And then we would have to get this through the Senate by Saturday or the government does shut down.
Some conservatives oppose temporary funding, instead calling for a full budget and 12 bills. With spending cuts, the Senate opposes. Democratic Congressman Dean Phillip tells Fox if there's a shutdown, it hurts
hundreds of thousands of women and children who rely on support for food, our military not being paid.
There's news after the first House Republican hearing in their impeachment inquiry. Democrats call illegitimate.
The Oversight Committee is producing now an email from an email to an IRS official after the IRS was approached for comment about the Hunter Biden tax affairs case by CNN. Quote, producer has an email from Hunter saying he expected all of this, quote, stuff to go away when his dad becomes president. They have now subpoenaed Hunter and James Biden's personal bank records. So far, many accusations, but no proof President Biden ever personally profited from the family's business dealings, and none of the witnesses Republicans called have firsthand knowledge of the Biden family's dealings.
That's Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House in Tempe, Arizona. The president hit back at who he calls MAGA Republicans.
An extremist movement does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy.
America's listening to Fox News.
61 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A 10-year-old girl seriously hurt, shot in the leg after she was hit by gunfire inside of a home on the south side. It happened inside of a bedroom last night in the 6400 block of South Racine. A Chicago man who spent several decades in prison for a murder he claims he didn't commit is suing the city. Lee Harris filed suit accusing Chicago police officers of framing him for the 1989 murder of Dana Feitler. A Cook County judge is acquitting 2 Chicago police officers accused of shooting an unarmed man last year. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox says she was obligated to charge the officer.
When we don't hold them accountable, when we don't bring the charge where we believe the charge is sufficient, that flies in the face of the credibility of our entire justice system, and that's why we brought those charges.
The incident happened in July of 2022. Governor Pritzker defending the state's lack of response to the illegal immigrant crisis in Chicago, with more buses of non-citizens crossing the southern U.S. border arriving in Chicago, a self-proclaimed sanctuary city. The governor is demanding Republican states provide more assistance. Covering the governor for us, AM 560's Greg Bishop.
Dozens of buses carrying around 15,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago over the past year. At an unrelated event Thursday, Pritzker blamed Republican governors, but was confronted with even the Democratic mayor of El Paso.
That they're sending, nope, they're doing it because they're sending them to areas where they think that people will take care of them and where people will put the resources forward because this is a humanitarian crisis.
The governor said they're working with both federal and Chicago officials to get taxpayer resources where they're needed. As for the plan for military-grade base camp tents in the Windy City for the winter months, Pritzker said he's shared his concerns.
With a lack of existing buildings to put people in, I know the city has looked at this as one of its options.
I'm Greg Bishop.
An iconic fine dining restaurant near the top floor of the former John Hancock Center is closing. Signature Room at 95th have been serving customers for more than 30 years. They say the city's package of pandemic shutdowns has caused them severe economic hardship. This caused them to close their doors. Blackhawks 2-1 overtime winners over St. Louis in preseason hockey at the UC. Connor Bedard with a couple of assists. Cubs in free fall after a 5-3 loss to the Braves. Cubs were swept in that 3-game set. They take on Milwaukee next. The White Sox avoid the 3-game sweep with a 3-1 win over the Diamondbacks. Fighting Illini go for their first Big Ten win, and they play for the Cannon as they visit Purdue tomorrow. The news service of Advanced Design Studio. Thinking of a home renovation but aren't sure where to look? Check out Common Sense Remodeling with Advanced Design Studio online. AdvancedDesignStudio.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Freedom Summit Chicago tickets are now on sale. Join AM 560, The Answer, on November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest for Freedom Summit, featuring Rand Paul, Judge Janine Pirro from Fox News, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated, HealthInsuranceMentors.com, and by Illinois Concealed Carry Training.
Feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill wearing skates? If you run or manage a local business today, you're challenged like never before. We get it, and we want to help. We're Salem Surround. We're a full-service marketing agency that'll help you increase your customer base by designing incredibly effective plans to reach your consumers day, night, and everywhere they might be.
If you're a local business and want to see what Salem Surround can do for you, visit surroundchicago.com. Remember to visit surroundchicago.com today.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Springfield area attorneys. 2815 Old Jacksonville Road, Suite 103, Springfield, Illinois, 62704. CordellCordell.com.
Consumer Cellular's award-winning customer support is 100% based in the U.S., and you are 100% based in the U.S. That's something you have in common with Consumer Cellular's customer service. Consumer Cellular's customer service likes pizza, and you like pizza. You want a free month of service, and we want to give you one. We obviously can't wait to hear from you. Visit consumercellular.com/free month and enter code free month to get your second month free. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Promotion is subject to terms and conditions.
Sometimes Balance of Nature gets feedback that Dr. Howard should be played by a better actor. Well, maybe they're right. because I am not an actor and I don't want to be. I hope that you understand this is real. People are sharing their success stories because their quality of life has improved.
The acute rehab was quite a journey. I thought maybe this is the best it's going to be until I took Balance of Nature.
I had low energy, I wasn't sleeping good at night, and then my wife suggested we try Balance of Nature. My energy came back, it's changed my life.
A surf session can be pretty physically demanding, and Balance of Nature helps me do that.
Quality is what life is about, and that's what we strive for at Balance of Nature. We are a results-based company looking to improve your quality of life.
Go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
If you trade stocks, then you know avoiding pitfalls is the biggest challenge for both new and experienced investors. Vantage Point's dual-patented artificial intelligence provides a powerful solution to this problem by offering predictive accuracy, emotional neutrality, and diverse market forecasts for today's active traders. Vantage Point's AI analyzes billions of data points in seconds, so you get highly accurate predicted market conditions for the next trading day. Take the emotion out of your trading. Text the word money to 813-813. Navigate the financial markets with confidence using AI. Text MONEY to 813-813 right now to learn more for free. Text money to 813-813 to experience the benefits of AI in your trading. Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past results do not guarantee future performance. By texting, you agree to the terms available at VantagePointSoftware.com and consent to receive calls and texts using automated technology about offers or info by or on behalf of Vantage Point. Your consent is not a condition to purchase and can be revoked at any time. Message and data rates may apply. Text the word money to 813-813.
7:09, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and we'll start on the outbound Ike. Major activity there. In fact, it's entirely shut down due to police activity between Mannheim and Wolf Road. Shots fired this morning around 5 a.m. Traffic is being forced off at Mannheim as the police investigation continues. Again, the outbound Ike completely shut down at Mannheim. You're being forced off at Mannheim this morning. Traveling on the inbound Ike, you're impacted by that outbound shutdown. It's 45 minutes, 390 to the old post office. Stevenson in 42, 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Stop and go on 57 in the Bishop Ford into the Ryan. 8094 rollover accident on the entrance ramp at Burr. It's on the westbound side. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Andy Rao.
Some fog to start today, then mostly sunny skies. Today's high 76. For tonight, clear, low 60. Sunny for tomorrow, the high 82. And Sunday, sunshine with a high 84. I'm Andy Robb on AM 560, The Answer.
Dense fog, 62 at O'Hare. By the way, we have zero visibility in Morris this morning. Drive with care. Quarter-mile or less visibility in Joliet. 62 along the lakefront, 61 at Midway. Your next news update, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Brew some at home today. A family tradition since 1897. Online at papanicholas.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy.
Yes.
First day of the House impeachment inquiry was yesterday, as advertised, and they had testimony from the individuals that were advertised, including Jonathan Turley, George Washington University law professor, who I guess I would call it polite sparring with Ro Khanna, one of the noxious Democrat socialists on the committee, who hails from California. And this was basically Khanna was trying to essentially insinuate that there's no basis for this inquiry because Turley wouldn't vote to impeach right now. But that's not the point of the inquiry. So for all the Dem socialist histrionics about there's no evidence, there is, of course, evidence that provides the foundation to pursue the inquiry.
Right, but they're sticking with that narrative that there's no evidence.
I get it. And they're basically trying to convince you that the Republicans just dreamed this all up. And that's not the case, as Turley explained.
Well, I said in my testimony that the key here that the committee has to drill down on is whether they can establish a linkage with the influence peddling, which is a form of corruption, and the president, whether he had knowledge, whether he participated, whether he encouraged it. We simply don't know, and we don't even know if this was an illusion or not. But you can find the answers to that. I mean, the back end of these financial transactions, which I have read is where the committee's going, may shed light on that. But without that type of nexus, then no, I don't.
And currently it's your testimony that that nexus has not been established, correct?
No, I think that's the purpose of the inquiry, yes, that's correct. I personally think that the threshold for an inquiry has been surpassed, that you have a duty to inquire as to these allegations. But that's not presupposing what you're going to find.
Right, but even Ro Khanna essentially conceded the point in the question. The nexus hasn't been established. Wait, the nexus to what? I thought there was nothing to see here. So there is something to see here. Now establish a connection to the big guy. So you're essentially conceding there was this corrupt influence peddling operation. Now do we fold in Joe Biden? Gosh, is there any evidence that Joe Biden had knowledge of what was going on, if not active participation? Sure there is. There's testimony from Hunter Biden's business partners, for goodness sakes.
And FBI whistleblowers.
And FBI whistleblowers. And there's suggestive texts that include Hunter Biden talking to his brother, talking to Joe Biden's brother, Jim, about protecting Biden. In point of fact, that's where Byron Donalds went during his questioning of Bruce Dubinsky, who's the forensic accountant, who was one of those who testified. And you also had Eileen O'Connor, who's a former Department of Justice investigator, who testified. And you don't even need to have that sort of professional expertise to testify in this stuff. Presenting what they're talking about against the backdrop of org charts that we have and the lack of any understanding of what exactly it was they provided, combined with testimony from business partners of the principal whose operation you're conceding, Democrats are, there's no basis for the inquiry. Of course there is.
This is the WhatsApp text message between Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. In this text message, it clearly says, anyway, we can talk later, but you've been drawn into something purely for the purpose of protecting Dad. This is between Hunter Biden and Jim Biden. Last time I checked, the father of Jim Biden and Joe Biden is now passed away. So I'm assuming this is Hunter Biden saying to Jim Biden, the president's brother, that you've been brought in this for the sole purpose of protecting Dad. Miss O'Connor, do you think that this text message would lead this committee to get further information about the business dealings of Hunter Biden and how that actually links to Jim Biden, the president's brother, and why they are so concerned with protecting Dad, a.k.a. Joe Biden, a.k.a. the President of the United States?
Yes.
Yeah, that was Eileen O'Connor, the DOJ investigator, former. Donald's, another text message of particular relevance. Circumstantial evidence.
This is a text message between Hunter Biden and Naomi Biden. And this one is a famous one. Everybody knows this one. This is a famous one that says, I hope you all do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. Mr. Dubinsky, if you saw a text message like this in a potential money laundering operation or a potential pay-for-play operation, would you be looking for information related to money going from son to father?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Of course, it's just commonsensical. And here's the thing, too. Even if you never find the money, you backdoor it through the possessions, number one. But even setting that aside, if Hunter Biden is paying your bills in any substantial way, as his you're his father, and you're a vice president or a former vice president, You don't ask any questions? You don't have any knowledge?
Professional senator.
Right. And this is you knew or should have known, reasonable man standard.
Dan, you have this all wrong. This is just about a father loving his son.
The only thing the president can be guilty of here is being a father.
If loving my son is a crime, then
I'm guilty.
Lock me up and throw away the key.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line. You could also text us at 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
It's just remarkable that it's remarkable that people can say that you can have, and then of course you have their automatons across the country that just take something like that and run with it and just repeat that. I'm sure you people listening have all heard the same thing. There's no evidence. He just loves his son. Why is loving his son wrong? If you can't, I mean, the old Richard J. Daley, if I can't help my son, who can I help? And so on and so forth. I mean, all of the pathetic excuses that they would never provide to anyone who disagreed with their politics. That shows the preternatural dishonesty of it all on the left.
And what I learned yesterday, what a burden it must be to be Hunter Biden, to have to provide for the family all the time. For what work was he even doing?
What does he have to provide for the family? The guy's been, making 4 times the median household income in this country for 50, at least that, for 50 years, Joe Biden. And then he just wrote a book. And then he's given speeches when he's out of office. Well, and again, we can't account for that money either. This is to the point. And his Celtic Capri Corporation. I mean, this is all of the things that demand further investigation, which is why it's not even a close call whether the standard for an impeachment inquiry has been met. Of course it has. Not to mention, what is the standard for an impeachment inquiry? I love this idea that there's any standard after what Democrats did. Yeah, to Trump twice. But
Trump made a phone call to Ukraine, and they impeached him on that.
But to the extent there should be standards, and there should be, I mean, when you're talking about sort of like the high crimes and misdemeanors threshold you're supposed to have to clear in order to impeach a president or a federal official, then, I mean, it's so obviously been met. There are so obviously these gaping questions that don't add up in terms of the family's financing, not to mention all of the relationships we know that were the basis for all of those dollars that flowed to the family coffers. And now we find that, and every day there's a little bit more, that, as we've learned this week, the $250,000, $260,000 wire to Hunter Biden from the Chinese Communist connected business interests to Joe Biden's address.
Right.
And again, this is all sort of willful blindness. First of all, I don't think it was. There's a lot of testimony to suggest it wasn't. And secondly, again, knew or should have known. It's unreasonable to not know in his position as a father, much less a public official. A public official who had national security responsibilities and clearances.
And I got to tell you, yesterday we learned, too, that, in 2018, Hunter texted his uncle, but I have no more money. I'm out of cash. I have to pay child support. And mom says she's done. She's not going to support me anymore and help out. And you could tell that. You could see the disdain on Jill Biden's face whenever she's around Hunter. She's just kind of like,
well, I'm sure that disdain goes in a lot of different directions because it's a family of hillbillies. The Wilmington Hillbillies.
I mean, he blew all that, tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars on his crack habit and prostitutes and all that, and then recorded it. And he's not in jail. I mean, he recorded crimes on his laptop and on his cell phone, and he's walking around a free man.
Well, the good news is that they're pushing forward with this, and they're reintroducing the circumstantial evidence, and they're asking the sort of right, commonsensical questions, and they're starting at a point where, despite and because of these preposterous cover stories, the Democrats are trying to inculcate the father's love, there's no evidence. A majority of the country, from the polling we've seen, already believes that he was in on it. Because he was. Of course he was. Now, do you have to prove it? Do you have to put more of the pieces together, as Jonathan Turley said? Sure you do. And that's going to be the job of the House Republicans in the coming months. Lee and Hammond, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys. question the logic the Democrats are using. There's no evidence that the South ever fired on Fort Sumter. That was just some guy in a gray suit with a cannon. No evidence the Japanese ever bombed Pearl Harbor. That was just some guys flying around with orange spots painted on their planes. You know, this is what you're dealing with. You can't argue with people like this because it's even entertaining their arguments is just playing right into what these maniacs are trying to actually gaslight the American people into. It's just it's a losing argument because we allow them to get away with this lunacy, and as long as we allow them to get away with this, it's never going to get any better. I mean, you know, it's gaslighting to the max. That's all it is, and we entertain these idiots. Why do we even allow this to go on?
Well, thanks for the call. Well, people are allowed to suspend their disbelief. It's fine. I mean, if you are allowed to walk around in a haze or to deny up is down, deny up is up and down is down. You're allowed to do that. That's fine. But then it's the job of responsible parties to hold people accountable for what was actually done. And that's really going to be where the rubber meets the road here, is whether this goes even to a House vote to formally impeach and send it over to the Senate for trial.
Text message, still need the bank accounts. Where's the money?
Well, yeah, I mean, but for day one, you know, and you know, there has been a lot of information gathered to this point. I mean, I don't think House Republicans are doing a poor job here. And I thought, you know, just obviously these were sort of set up obvious questions and answers, statements mainly, as most of these hearings are, but that's fine. You're presenting the evidence and you're hearing from experts in their relevant fields that are relevant to the discussion, and that's fine. So you have a record to point to. You're building the case. You're establishing a record. This is what you must do to be credible. Kim in Northwest Indiana.
I was just wondering when you think they might actually call Hunter Biden to testify.
Yeah, thanks for the call. Well, that's one of the $100,000 questions is when does he get whistled before? I think you want to have a lot of additional information lined up so that when you subpoena him, he's going to be in an even more difficult position than he is now. I don't think he's going to make a particularly good witness at any time, but I think you want to have a more complete picture and the evidence to support what a lot of what we suspect is true, but we don't know. So, for example, if you would subpoena him and he would appear or be held in contempt, you know, a la Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro, if he did actually ever appear before a House committee, and I'd be surprised if that occurs, but you have to subpoena him and you have to try. You want to know, or at least have exhausted all the possibilities to find out about, for example, the alleged $5 million bribes both to him and to the big guy. You want to know that. Or you want to have evidence to support the claim beyond what that FBI asset suggested. And so I think there's some roads of inquiry that need to be exhausted, or that need to, you know, that reach their conclusion before you would want to do that. So I don't think there's any rush. I mean, I think this whole thing needs to be done with alacrity, but it needs to be done sensibly too. So you have all the information that you think you can obtain before you really zero in on Hunter for the purposes of zeroing in on the big guy.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
You can't live forever, but your legacy can. For over 185 years, families have trusted Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago with 47 locations throughout Cook and Lake counties to set their legacies in stone. A prepaid cemetery plan locks in today's prices and safeguards against rising inflation. Visit CatholicCemeteryChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
Maybe we should save that for off the air, but we were talking about the signature room, and it's devastated that it closed.
We were already, before you got here, we were already talking about retrofitting it to
what?
Yeah,
What do you think it
a
should-
commissary for migrants, or
They should do photo shoots up there. Oh, you know what? The migrants could live there.
well, you could definitely build out some condos, or condos plus cafeteria of some sort.
Somebody on Twitter,
make it a
once they found out the Signature Room closed. Well, is the upstairs bar still going to be open? No, idiot, it's not. It's like it's all closed, honey.
No, Bill O'Reilly lost his table and everything. Maybe an abortion clinic and like a video gaming room and a title loan outfit.
Oh yeah.
Something in keeping with the city
with the theme of the
landscape.
city.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great. But when you go to the Signature Room, you'd always have a fruit or vegetable on the side, and not getting that anymore. So what are you doing to get the best for your body? Because when you give your body the best possible fuel, guess what? You have more energy. You're stronger. You think more quickly. And the best fuel is fruits and veggies. Trust me. And with Balance of Nature, 31 whole fruits and vegetables, real food, real nutrition. People who take it love it. They're addicted. It gives them increased energy, the ability to keep doing the things that they love even as they age. So get your health back. Get on Balance of Nature. Just try it. The number to call, 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go online to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
The United States Constitution guarantees every American fundamental rights and protection of life, liberty, and property. Salem is celebrating our founding document with a special offer, a 1953 Oman U.S. Constitution lithograph. To understand the value of these lithographs is to know the story. A master lithographer immigrant named Theodore Oman came to this country to find the American dream. 70 years ago, in 1953, Oman printed a limited number of these exceptional Constitution lithographs. Go to SalemEventsStore.com to read Oman's entire story. America's most important document stands as a testament to all Americans to maintain their liberties, freedoms, and inalienable rights. Buy it and display it proudly. Buy a gift for your family and friends, and for all the teachers in your communities. There is a limited number, so act today. Go to SalemEventsStore.com to get your exclusive 1953 Oman U.S. Constitution lithograph while supplies last. That's SalemEventsStore.com.
We can tell you about the incredible success we bring to local businesses, but it's better when it comes directly from our satisfied clients. Here's just one example.
After searching for a new vendor to handle my search marketing campaign, I contacted Salem Surround after seeing the great work they did for another restoration company in the different market. Their team of experts recommended a mix of multiple tactics designed to get my business the most quality leads at the lowest cost, making my marketing budget stretch further. In our first year partnering with Salem Surround, we recorded our best year to date, and I've told many people how blessed I was to find them. The representative answered the phone every time I called and quickly addressed any questions or concerns I had.
Let Salem Surround give you an absolutely free audit of your current marketing and show you what your competition is doing. Then we can come up with a personalized plan that's perfect for your needs. Visit surroundchicago.com and let our marketing experts help you achieve real success. Remember to visit surroundchicago.com today.
AM 560, The Answer.
I don't even know. I think earlier in the show, I think I said Cité at the top of Lake Point Tower where I used to work. Where you used to live, I should say, was closed, but I know it's been for sale for a couple of years. It may still be open, but
can the public go in there?
Well, of course it's open for the public. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You fancy people in those fancy condos.
Yeah, it's I can't imagine it's can limp along for much longer, and that's been around for almost 50 years, I think. Anyway, we'll talk more about restaurants atop of tall buildings in Chicago and Open Mic Friday at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. But the bottom of this hour, coming up at 7:37, Ken Cuccinelli, former Virginia AG, now national chairman of the Election Transparency Initiative. Safe and secure and accurate elections, 7:37, Ken Cuccinelli.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike.
Fog all over the western suburbs, zero visibility in spots, 62 degrees. Authorities in Pakistan investigating. 52 are killed, nearly 70 wounded after a bomb explodes. Bombing one of the deadliest in recent years. The House expected to take up a Republican stopgap funding bill today, but House Speaker Kevin McCarthy doesn't appear right now to have the votes to pass it. Congressman Chip Roy blames Democrats.
Will not work with us at all to actually do what most Americans want us to do, which is stop the insanity, stop the lawlessness.
Congress watchers say if McCarthy brings it up for a vote, he'll likely run into trouble with conservatives like Roy, who have protested the prospect of a short-term extension. House Republicans holding their first hearing in their impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Republicans are looking into whether the president improperly profited off his son's foreign business dealings.
Joe Biden lied to the American people that he never spoke to his family about their business dealings. He lied by telling the American people that there was an absolute wall between his official government duties and his personal life.
James Comer, the head of utility Hawaiian Electric, is defending the decision not to cut power to power lines that may have sparked last month's deadly wildfire in Hawaii.
We are working tirelessly to figure out what happened, and we are cooperating fully with federal and state investigators who have indicated it may take 12 to 18 months to conclude.
Hawaiian Electric CEO Shelly Kimura did acknowledge down power lines did cause a small fire the morning of the large blaze that, she says, was extinguished. A 10-year-old girl seriously hurt after she was shot inside of a home on Chicago's South Side. It happened overnight in the 6400 block of South Racine. That girl rushed to a nearby hospital in serious condition. One male dead, another on the run after a shooting in the south suburbs. Harvey police say the shooting took place around 4:30 in the afternoon at 154th and Ashland. After a police chase, a vehicle ended up at 147th and Ashland crashing. One male pronounced dead at the scene. Another male rushed to Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn in critical condition. Again, a third male fled on foot and is still at large. Eastern Illinois University this morning is suspending the men's swim team from competing this fall. The suspension follows the disclosure to the team's head coach of credible reports of hazing. Final decision on future competition and individual roster eligibility will be determined when the review is complete. Blackhawks look good in the preseason opener, beating the Blues in OT 2-1. Connor Bedard, couple of helpers. Cubs are in free fall right now following a 5-3 loss to Atlanta. They're a half game back of Miami for the final NL wild card spot. Milwaukee is next. White Sox beat the Diamondbacks 3-1. Friday Night Lights, some big games on the high school gridiron tonight and homecoming for many schools. Number 5 Batavia battles number 10 Geneva. Also worth a look, number 4 York taking on number 18 Downers Grove North. Lions kick off week 4 of the NFL season with a 34-17 dominant win over the Packers at Lambeau Field. The News is a service of the Pride Stores with 17 locations throughout Chicagoland. Stop by their newest mobile gas station, the Pride of Villa Park. They celebrate their grand reopening with daily prizes, special offers, and a solo stove raffle. Pride Stores, not your typical convenience store. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's our right.
We have the right to decide whether we want Trump in the Oval Office or not. We have the ability and the right and the authority, the constitutional authority to make that determination, not Fannie Willis or Alvin Bragg or any one of the other George Soros prosecutors who are soft on crime.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Sometimes Balance of Nature gets feedback that Dr. Howard should be played by a better actor. Well, maybe they're right, because I am not an actor, and I don't want to be. I hope that you understand this is real. People are sharing their success stories because their quality of life has improved.
The acute rehab was quite a journey. I thought maybe this is the best it's going to be until I took Balance of Nature.
I had low energy, I wasn't sleeping good at night, and then my wife suggested we try Balance of Nature. My energy came back, it changed my life.
A surf session can be pretty physically demanding, and Balance of Nature helps me do that.
Quality is what life is about, and that's what we strive for at Balance of Nature. We are a results-based company looking to improve your quality of life.
Go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Constitutions in many countries talk about the concept of freedom of speech. What's always set America apart is our dedication to free speech in practice. Once, opposing censorship was a bedrock principle of liberalism. But times have changed. A Real Clear Opinion poll reveals that free speech is becoming a partisan issue, with Democrats more willing to allow government to regulate speech. This is dangerous. If government decides what information we can access, it decides what we know, or at least what we have the opportunity to know. That's the end of any country where the people are supposed to rule. For a democratic republic to function as intended, an informed electorate is indispensable. Americans of all political stripes need to understand the First Amendment protects the liberty of every citizen, regardless of party, regardless of the popularity of the opinion.
Publicpolicy.pepperdine.edu. Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful at lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question, and the owners of Relief Factor tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. That's right, designed to heal, and I agree with them. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor selected the 4 best ingredients, yes, 100% drug-free ingredients, each helping your body deal with inflammation. Each of the 4 ingredients deals with inflammation from a different metabolic pathway. That's right there, approaching from 4 different angles, maybe why so many people find such wonderful relief. So if you have back pain, shoulder, neck, hip, knee, or foot pain from exercise or just getting older, you should order the 3-week quick start, discounted to only $19.95 to see if it will work for you. It has for about 70% of the 500,000 people who've tried it, and they've ordered more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF, the number 4RELIEF, to find out about this offer. Feel the difference.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
7:39, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. We're watching the outbound Eisenhower. Illinois State Police confirmed to us that it has been reopened from earlier police activity that had things shut down near Mannheim this morning. Still delays outbound between Central and Mannheim. 57 minutes, actually, as you travel outbound to Mannheim right now, and it is an hour and 9 minutes outbound to Route 390. Checking the Stevenson, an hour right now into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle. Heavy and slow on 57 and the Bishop Ford into the Ryan Merge. DuSable Lakeshore Drive jamming up northbound Soldier Field up to Monroe. They've cleared up an accident on 8094 westbound at Burr. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Heavy dense fog this morning. Some areas seeing close to 0 visibility. Joliet, Morris, places like that. And then summer-like for the afternoon, a high of 76. Mostly clear and 60 overnight. And a beautiful Saturday ahead, high 82. Again, dense fog over much of the area, 62 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, this show isn't for everybody. If you're not interested in the truth, if you're not interested in having a conversation on the merits, then don't listen to this show.
On AM 560.
Because there's no place for you here.
The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I know there was some discussion about immigration on Wednesday night, during Wednesday night's GOP POTUS debate, but they missed a big issue, too. And, you know, this is why you have to listen to what Democrats have to say. Like Senator Slingblade, John Fetterman, he's on an issue that is not being talked about enough.
What's that?
What
Is he going to be sponsored by Men's Wearhouse? Because he has to wear a suit now, by the way.
He does, but that's not the most important thing, although it's wildly important. It's what they're doing to our pandas.
And let me say, I hope many of our colleagues agree the Chinese government and other U.S. adversaries should own zero agricultural land in our country. I believe that. I mean, they're taking back our pandas. You know, we should take back all of their farmland.
Pandas for farmland. Pandas for American farmland. 312-642-5600. Turnkey.pro. Ansley, I'll take your calls on that. That's a pressing issue. Also, probably need a legal opinion on that. Can maybe broker that deal. Ken Cuccinelli is national chairman of the Election Transparency Initiative. He's also former attorney general of the state of Virginia. Ken, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. What about that? Do you think we could negotiate? I mean, we gave $6 billion to Iran for hostages. They take our pandas, we take their farmland. You give us back our pandas, you can get your American farmland that you own back, or what should we do? What should we do?
Done.
Yeah. I mean,
absolute deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to have the pandas.
And then Wednesday, Haley she touched on it, I think, complaining about it, but she's standing next to someone who'd actually done it. DeSantis blocked it in Florida. They passed a law blocking China from owning land in Florida. Well, when also next door in South Carolina, when she was governor of South Carolina, she could have done that. She didn't do that. She's busy giving Boeing $900 million subsidies.
But I mean, does Florida have does Busch Gardens have pandas? Did not allowing Chinese communists?
They have pictures of pandas, and I'll throw in. We'll even paint over the pictures, but we're keeping the farmland.
All right. Well, so taking a hard line on
We'll go koalas. We'll even stay out in the Pacific region, but we're going to go Australia on this one. We're going to substitute koalas for all of them.
All right. It's interesting. Well, this is a referendum question. This election is pandas or farmland. Ken Cuccinelli, let me ask you this question, since you brought up DeSantis in the debate on Wednesday night. He made an interesting statement. Unfortunately, the moderators were generally comatose, so there was no follow-up on this. But he suggested that when it came to domestic crime that's besetting our metropolitan areas, not just the cities, but the suburban areas too, he said that he would task the Department of Justice to bring civil rights suits against
I'm glad you caught
Soros-funded
that was
prosecutors.
Real interesting.
Well, so you're a former state attorney general. So give me the legal theory under which the Department of Justice could bring a civil rights action against a prosecutor, given the wide discretion prosecutors have.
So, first of all, remember that civil rights cases at the federal level were originally designed to be brought against state and local government officials, not just other folks. So that's the design originally intended because, look, I'm in Virginia. The government of Virginia, along with a lot of other states, sheriffs or whatever, they use the legal system to persecute and to persecute black citizens and to allow others to do the same by protecting them under color of law. That's the phrase. So back to your question, how do you get after a prosecutor? There are Soros prosecutors all over the country. There's only one person who's ever removed one, and that's Ron DeSantis, and he's removed two in Tampa and Orlando. And so he's done something like this before. The civil rights efforts would be directed at people who've said, no, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. I mean, a lot of these people announce they're not going to enforce laws that are on the books. And you have an arguable civil right to be safe. Some of these people have set themselves up, and they continue to do so very brazenly. And when their actions line up with their statements, you've got yourself a case right there. And, frankly, it's smart. People forget. Christie talks about being a prosecutor up there, and he was U.S. attorney. Ron DeSantis was a prosecutor, too, both in the Navy and out of it. And so, this is not something new and foreign to him. But I will tell you, these Soros prosecutors and their lookalikes all over the country that are favoring criminals over crime victims are really playing a big role in the gutting of our cities. And none of us here, I've been with you guys before. I know, hell, you're in Chicago. We want to protect everybody. You don't want to just protect people who agree with you. You want to protect everybody, and that's the kind of leader DeSantis was talking about being. And here these Democrat cities have voted their way into oblivion, and DeSantis just isn't willing to leave them there.
Right.
And, Trump talked about it, never did anything about it.
Speaking of Trump, whose idea was it for have DeSantis challenge Trump to a one-on-one debate?
Yeah, well, those types of ideas always come from the governor. I'm with the super PAC, so I don't actually get to talk to him about stuff like that. But I do know the governor is extremely hands-on. That wouldn't have come out without his decision, obviously. And frankly, I'm almost giddily looking forward to the Newsom-DeSantis debate at the end of November.
So
I wish it was sooner. Oh, that's going to be spectacular. I hope they allow visuals, so they can each use PowerPoint screens behind them, and we can show needles and feces and all the rest from all over California as part of that debate.
It's good. There's going to be no audience, but yeah, visuals would be a good thing.
Moving past that for just a minute, the primary campaign to just the election generally, since this is your focus too, and the focus of some other people, and this is a concern you hear all the time. I'm sure you heard as well. No matter who it is, they're going to steal it from us. They won't allow us to win. I mean, it's. People never have like a handle on what's actually happening, but they're just so cynical for understandable reasons about the administration of elections. So just sort of the latest, greatest in terms of what is being done, particularly in swing states that matter. Maricopa County, Arizona comes to mind, to ensure that we don't have a repeat of what we saw in 20 and 22.
Yeah, so let's start kind of with the overall grade. If you go back 3 years rolling into the 2020 election, compare it to today, we're far better off today than we were 3 years ago, including in the swing states. Georgia, Florida, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, the list goes on of states we've made improvements in of various kinds, getting rid of Zuckerbucks, getting rid of drop boxes, securing ballots, all kinds of improvements. And of course, Georgia, everybody kind of knows about because that's where the explosion occurred from the left when they were so successful in 2021 in passing so many election reforms. And the left went berserk over it. So fast forward through 2022, and we all remember everything was racist, right? You're always a racist if you try to clean everything up. And so what happened in 2022? You had the highest voter turnout, including black voter turnout, in the primary and their general. And a left-wing university, but I double speak, did a survey after the 22 election in Georgia. And I've never seen this before, but they found 0% of black voters were dissatisfied with their voting experience. 0. And when you add when you compare black and white voters on their view of was the election run well, they literally land within a couple of tenths of a percent of one another, right around 73%. So that is the reality against the radical left-wing narrative. And they have been using words like racist to describe election reform for 20 years. And it's not. Frankly, the people who are fighting ranked choice voting, another scheme they've got going from the left where they get some Republican help, you go talk to local NAACP leaders, a lot of the local leaders, not national, hate this thing because it's so confusing. They feel like their constituents are being disenfranchised. They've been some of the more interesting, outspoken folks against that. Good elections typically come down to common sense, but the people who run the Democrat Party today who get elected are such radical nutjob leftists, and I'm sorry, they're way out there. They want muddy elections because they believe that's an opportunity for their side to gain an advantage, and historically it has been.
Ken Cuccinelli, National Chairman of the Election Transparency Initiative, former Virginia Attorney General, and as he mentioned, he's with DeSantis's Never Back Down Super PAC as well. Ken, thanks as always. Appreciate it.
Hey, good to be with you guys. You have a great weekend.
You too, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Greetings, friends. Sebastian Gorka here. You've probably been hearing my colleagues and I talking about investing with YRefy for a while. You may have some questions. So let's review. It's true, you can earn up to 10.25% fixed rate of return. That's not correlated to the stock market or the Fed. You can turn your income on or off, compound it, whatever you choose, and there are absolutely no fees. There is no attack on principal if you ever need your money back, and you'll get your monthly statement with no surprises. Just go to investyrefi.com. That's invest, the letter Y, then REFY.com, or call 888-YREFI24. Friends, this is a solid investment that actually helps people. Just go to investyrefi.com or call 888-YREFI24 and tell them Dr. G sent you.
There's some breaking news. Senator Dianne Feinstein has died at 90 years old. She was the first female mayor of San Francisco.
Spare me the back.
The first woman elected to the U.S. Senate of California.
Yeah, okay, all right. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but I'm not going to do hagiography on Die-Fi either.
Yeah, well, she has died at the age of 90.
Maybe, I mean, since nobody can fill her shoes, why doesn't California just give up one of their Senate seats?
Okay.
That could avoid having the noxious Adam Schiff or Katie Porter in that seat following her.
All right, Balance of Nature, taking it in about a half hour. It's a must-do every day. Why? I take Balance of Nature because I'm not getting enough fruits and veggies on my own, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. There's 31 different fruits and vegetables. And what they do is they take the fruits and veggies, and they powder them after an advanced vacuum cold process, which stabilizes the maximum nutrient content. There's a wide variety of different fruits and vegetables. I can't even name 31. But you will feel better, and you will get the nutrition your body needs. It's so important to get your fruits and veggies, and this is a way to do it because you have to admit you're not doing it on your own. 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. That is the number to call. Use discount code Chicago. You'll get free shipping and 35% off your first preferred order of fruits and veggies. Balance of Nature, it's the thing to do.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Because right now, you can join Medishare and save even more than usual. For the average family, switching to Medishare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. Medishare has double the member satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. Bottom line, it works. There's more than 400,000 members who have shared over $7 billion in medical bills, so they can handle your bills too. And here's the thing, if you join before September 30th, you'll save another $150 on your first month when you join. Nice. I'll give you the number here in a second. Just tell them the promo code SHARE to receive your additional savings. And again, the deadline, September 30th. So call now and you'll save even more. 844-57-BIBLE. That's 844-57-BIBLE. 844-57-BIBLE.
Men.
And women.
It's sometimes hard to talk about, but it takes a real toll on your life. Pelvic floor issues. What is that?
Pelvic pain, rectal pain, pain with intimacy, pelvic organ prolapse, painful or loss of bladder or bowel control, overactive or underactive bladder, and constipation.
Good news. Cotorinos Physical Therapy pioneered many of the physical therapy approaches to drastically change the problems you are dealing with without drugs. Strategies to fix the problem. It's time to make the call and have a conversation.
630-620-0232. Don't feel like there's nothing you can do, because there is.
Pelvic floor issues can affect your sleep, your activities, and your life. Cotorinos Physical Therapy has been helping people for over 46 years. It's their specialty.
They simply know more about it. They successfully treat men and women of all ages, and they can help you too. Call and ask about your issues.
Cotorinos Physical Therapy, 630-620-0232. Go to pelvictreatment.com.
Pelvictreatment.com. 3 Chicagoland locations.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
All right, this just in. Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
As you walk around the yard this spring, you'll likely see some cracked or sunken concrete. Maybe a sidewalk, stoop, driveway, or patio. These problems will only get worse, but there is an easy solution. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer with Permaseal. Our poly-level process can raise and level sunken concrete quickly and effectively, putting an end to eyesores and dangerous trip hazards. Poly-level is the quickest, least expensive, and most durable system to repair your sunken concrete problems. So don't live with a problem that will only get worse. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL for a free estimate. Permaseal has been helping Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana homeowners making their homes healthier and more valuable for over 40 years and has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't replace it, raise it. Call 800-421-7325 or visit permaseal.net.
Don't best for being better. Permaseal.
AM 560, The Answer.
Why would
Have
they
you
use that
seen-
picture of her? Dianne Feinstein's
I don't
guy.
care. Have you seen Pam Anderson at Paris Fashion Week? Have you seen this picture of her without makeup?
I think she looks great. You're too harsh.
I mean, I'm just saying.
She's 56 years old. She has no makeup on. I think she looks beautiful.
She would not be allowed in a Baywatch lifeguard tower anymore, that's for sure.
And this is another reason why Dan Proft is single.
I mean,
have you seen yourself without makeup?
No, I've never have, because I always have it on. I always have the pancake on. I mean, first Gisele Bundchen, now Pam Anderson.
Oh, Gisele Bundchen.
Holy God! I mean, this is going to keep. I'm going to have. I used to have dreams, nightmares now.
Yeah, Gisele Bundchen without makeup. That one.
Oh,
that was.
Oh my God! Make it stop.
Pretty bad. Today, sunny, warm, a high of 76 degrees. It's 8 a.m. WIND Chicago.
This is a Fox News alert. Senator Dianne Feinstein has died. I'm Dave Anthony, a Democrat from California, first elected in 1992.
Yeah, we don't know exactly the circumstances here. She had been in ill health for quite some time, but we got some rumblings about this overnight. Senator Feinstein voted yesterday morning in the Senate, but did not attend a Democratic caucus meeting later in the day, and she also did not vote in an afternoon vote series. She was 90 years old.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol.
She had led the Judiciary Committee. There had been some calls for her to step down because of ill and infirm health. She missed several months earlier this year due to a bout with shingles, and she was hospitalized for quite some time. She came back. She was here and there over the past few months.
Senator Feinstein's death comes as Congress deals with funding drama.
Nobody wants a shutdown. Nobody wants a shutdown.
But that would happen Sunday if government money runs out. Republican Congressman Greg Murphy tells Fox Business they're trying to work out a budget plan.
This is hard business. It's hard to gather all the individuals and all the different personalities together to agree.
Some House Republicans are refusing to back a short-term funding plan, pushing for a full budget and 12 bills with spending cuts Senate Democrats do oppose. The Auto Workers Union may announce next hour it'll expand the 15-day-old strike to even more GM, Ford, or Stellantis facilities. A judge in Michigan is expected today to decide the fate of a school shooter who murdered 4 classmates.
Ethan Crumbley pleaded guilty to the murders at Oxford High School in 2021. Friday's decision will culminate a Miller hearing, which decides if a juvenile can be sentenced to life in prison. Should Judge Kwame Rowe rule against life with no parole, Michigan law requires a sentence of 25 years minimum to 60 years maximum.
That's Fox's Gernal Scott. America's listening to Fox News.
Fog across the western suburbs, visibility down to a quarter mile or less in many spots. 62 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A 10-year-old girl seriously wounded, shot inside of a home on the south side in the 6400 block of South Racine. The girl was in a back bedroom when hit by gunfire, rushed to a nearby hospital in serious condition. No one is in custody. A Chicago man is now charged in the deadly shooting of a 9-year-old boy in the south suburbs earlier this year. Omari Jones Brown was shot and killed in May outside of his home. Investigators believe an altercation led to the shooting. Authorities arrested Daquan Robinson on charges of first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. Governor Pritzker defending the state's lack of response to the illegal immigrant crisis in Chicago.
When you add up everything that we've put forward, about $328 million from the state to assist in the management of the asylum seekers that have come to Illinois.
The governor's comments come after some Chicago aldermen have accused the state of not helping out enough. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul is amending a lawsuit that his office filed way back in 2018 against Chicago's Trump Tower. Raoul's second amended complaint claims the downtown property continues to break environmental law by underreporting the average daily volume of water it discharges into the Chicago River. Two assists from Connor Bedard, helping the Blackhawks to a preseason ice-breaking win over the Blues at the United Center, 2-1. Cubs in free fall after a 5-3 loss to the Braves. White Sox avoid the 3-game sweep with a 3-1 win over the Diamondbacks. Lions 34-20 winners over the Packers last night as the Bears get set to host the Broncos in a game between two of the final winless teams in the NFL. The news service of the Pride stores with 17 locations throughout Chicagoland. Stop by their newest mobile gas station, the Pride of Villa Park, as they celebrate their grand reopening with daily prizes, special offers, and a solo stove raffle. Pride stores, not your typical convenience store. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now, the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Blue Apron is confirming that it will be sold to food delivery startup Wonder Group. The deal is for $13 a share, and it's valued at $103 million. Wonder's founder is Mark Laurie, who created Jet.com and Diapers.com, and is a former Walmart executive. Cryptocurrency prices are rising, with traders anticipating if there's a U.S. government shutdown, it will make Bitcoin and other digital assets more attractive to investors. The price of Bitcoin has topped $27,000. Nike is holding up better than expected. Wall Street was concerned the company would need to discount its inventory. Nike's earnings top forecast, though, and it sees sales improving, and Nike shares are higher. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka wants to know who these people are.
The Wall Street Journal said that of current voters, 46% would support President Trump today in an election, and 46% would support Joe Biden. Who on God's green earth is that 46% who's going to support Joe Biden? Are you mental patients? Is this one flew over the cuckoo's nest? Who are you?
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Barbecue bags and brews sound great right about now. But are you really ready to entertain on that dirty, oil-stained driveway or patio? No oil stain removal is too big or too small for Cabino Environmental. Whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, you can use Cabino Oil Stain Remover. It's a safe, effective, and powerful oil stain lifting formula. This is not the same stuff you buy at the big box store. This is a concentrated, all-natural stain lifter that goes deep into the concrete or brick for superior cleaning. Simply pour it on the soiled area, let it dry, and then brush away. Start your cleanup at CabinoEnvironmental.com. The Cabino Environmental Response Team will come to your rescue across northern Illinois and the Milwaukee area. And you can purchase the Cabino Oil Stain Remover online and have it shipped anywhere in the U.S. and Canada. Can't wait? Cabino Oil Stain Remover is also now available at your local Rental Max.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Springfield area attorneys. 2815 Old Jacksonville Road, Suite 103, Springfield, Illinois, 62704.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
808, let's get an update on the roads. A service of health insurance mentors, 65 or older, thinking about Medicare. Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Call Stephen Tucker today. Free Medicare advice, 630-674-1551 or healthinsurancementors.com. Again, things returning to normal on the outbound Ike after having been completely shut down for several hours. Outbound near Manheim. Earlier, police canvas is out of the way after reports of shots fired. And right now, the outbound Eisenhower is pretty normal. 13 out to Manheim and 31 out to Route 390. Inbound on the Ike right now, it's an hour 390 into the old post office. The Kennedy running at about 53 O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Delays on the Bishop Ford stop and go inbound 103rd into the Ryan merge. The Reagan stop and go eastbound right at the York toll. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Andy Robb.
Some fog this morning, then mostly sunny. Today's high 76. Clear tonight, low 60. Sunny for Saturday, the high tomorrow 82. And plenty of sunshine for Sunday with a high 84. I'm Andy Robb on AM 560, The Answer.
Sun breaking through the fog, 62 at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Saturday mornings at 11. Visit healthquestradio.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Shots fired on the Eisenhower this morning. Must be a day that ends in Y. Real surprise there. Things are going very well.
Swimmingly.
Very well. Enjoy your commute, suburbanites. Since we were talking about Di-Fi passing away.
And yesterday morning she voted, and in the afternoon she did not.
Because she was dead? Is that why? Usually that's not a reason to not vote. Certainly not in jurisdictions controlled by Democrats. Or, I mean, her daughter had power of attorney on her. That didn't force her to step down from her Senate seat, so maybe her daughter could vote for her now.
She did what she wanted to do. She died in office.
Uh-huh. Well, not the first or last to be carried out feet first. Must be a good gig. What do you think? No, she had a nice life. I mean, her husband passed away last year. It was worth $100 million at least. Richard Blum.
$100 million?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of California, though, with the state she leaves behind.
Gavin Newsom's not going to have to
make an appointment. Well, maybe, hopefully appoint himself. It'd be fun. Anyway, in California for the regular people, and not even some of the irregular people, some of the financiers of the wonderful men and women of the people like Di-Fi and Gavin Newsom. This think piece from the LA Times. Can't afford California housing? Try living in a pod.
A pod?
A pod.
What's a pod? Tell me.
Well, I mean,
a
it's
tiny house?
Yeah.
Or an old rail car?
With locations in Palo Alto, San Fran, Bakersfield, Brownstone Shared Housing has converted 2 homes and an office space into dwellings for dozens of people, with rents ranging from $500 to $900 a month. The basic pods are very cozy, 3.5 feet wide and 4 feet tall, just big enough to fit a twin mattress. They feature amenities such as charging stations, LED lights, thank you, environmentally friendly, and individual climate control systems. Residents share bathrooms and utilize storage lockers for their belongings, most of which won't fit in a pod. Well, yeah, not 3.5 by 4 feet.
That sounds awful. That sounds like sleeping in a coffin.
Nope, not according to Christian Lewis. He's the founder of an AI startup, and he's living in a San Francisco pod community. Several AI founders and indie hackers are here. The downstairs lounges are actually nice. Building was occupied by about 20 people and featured 5 bathrooms and 2 showers for 20 people. A lot of cool people here. Saves money, and you're in a community, very communal, and this is wonderful. This is very much, I think, in keeping with the need for people to move out of their people of means, to move out of their sprawling mansions, to move the people out of their hotels. For example, Pritzker Incorporated, get out all the regular people out of the hotels, get out of your deluxe apartments in the skies and your sprawling lakefront mansions. Allow for migrants, and if you won't, I think the state comes in, city comes in, eminent domains, gets you out, and puts you into nice podlands, pod people, making the hoi polloi pod people. I like it. It's very much in keeping with the grand vision of Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum types, and these are all the World Economic Forum types. I like the Silicon Valley folks living their values. I like people who support these policies and underwrite the World Economic Forum types to have their property eminent domain because they're being a little lethargic in moving out to make way for the migrants. And I'll tell you what, Klaus Schwab, his vision has been set to music. A little ditty from Klaus Schwab on the topic.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to hear it in your pod. You'll owe nothing and be happy. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no car, but 24 booster shots in your arm. Owe nothing. Be happy. You can't even buy in the store because of your low social credit score. Oh, nothing. Be happy. You'll own nothing. And be happy. Be happy and eat the bugs.
Be happy and eat some bugs.
Steve Moore, economist, author of Govzilla, joins us now. Own nothing. Be happy, Steve Moore. Pod people. That's where the direction we should go.
Well, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. You have pods in Illinois. They're called prisons, right? That's what these pods sound like. The homeless problem in these major cities, I don't know how bad it is in Chicago, but I've been
60,000.
to San Francisco, Seattle. It's just awful, and it's inhumane what's going on here. And this is the this is the legacy of Bidenomics, right? And progressive governments, is you have people, having to sleep on the streets and defecate on the streets, and nobody does anything about it. And I saw just recently in Washington, D.C., our mayor, she's now the former mayor, Muriel Bowser, who was the head cheerleader for Defund the Police, has now 3 years later said, crime is so out of control in D.C., maybe we should hire some more police. It was like an epiphany.
Yeah, well, that's happening in San Francisco, too. London Breed, the heir to the Di-Fi legacy.
Yep.
She wants to drug test homeless when it comes to the conference of benefits. What's going on here? Drug testing?
Violation of their
drug
rights.
testing people? London breed?
What for? I mean, what for? I mean, they're going to find out. Gee, what are they going to find out? 80% of the people won't be able to pass a drug test.
I
Then
think
what?
it might be higher than that.
Well, but
It
I
might be
mean,
higher than that.
when you have a Dem socialist like London Breed, a defund the policer, a deprosecute the criminals type, talking about drug testing, I mean, what is going on here? A lot of Dem politicians being mugged from reality, but by reality, trying to present common sense things that the right has been talking about for a long time as their own. I mean, they must be getting pressure from somewhere, and it's certainly not conservatives.
Well, who wants to live in these cities? I mean, these cities like Seattle and Portland and San Francisco and Los Angeles, and unfortunately even Chicago, more and more people are just leaving. I mean, the blue states are seeing a stampede of people out, and they're leaving because of the homelessness issue, the crime issue. By the way, is it true? We had this item in our hotline, and a lot of our readers doubted that it was true, that your brilliant new governor wants to have government-run grocery stores?
Our mayor.
Mayor.
Yeah.
I mean, your mayor.
Yeah.
Mayor.
Oh yeah, and Dan has a title for the.
Yeah,
store.
we've
New
worked
name.
up. We've got this. We're working on the programming or the
Oh, you're on
marketing
it,
of it
okay.
too. Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
It's gonna be great.
city-owned
It's gonna
grocery
work
stores.
really well.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic. You know, Milton Friedman, when he wrote his great book Capitalism and Freedom back in the late 1950s, was talking about why you shouldn't have government ownership, and he lampooned the left's idea of the government taking over industry. He said, could you imagine the government running the grocery stores?
Well, there's going to be no bread on the shelves.
50 years later, yeah, they can imagine it.
Yeah. Well, and then they may take over and run the Signature Room at the top of the Hancock Building because that's closing. So maybe
No, it's closed.
Get into the restaurant business, and then you could have the grocery stores be the primary suppliers of the city-owned restaurants. You see.
And the funny thing, it's not kind of funny, it's actually pathetic, is that the left has been complaining for 20 years that cities like Chicago and Seattle and Portland have become food deserts. Have you heard that term?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Deserts? Well, gee, I wonder how that happened when you let people go into the stores and grab as much stuff as they can possibly carry out and not pay for it, and then you don't prosecute those crimes. Gee, where did all the grocery stores go? Where did all the 7-Elevens go?
Now, Stephen Moore, did you ever eat at the Signature Room? Because they abruptly closed. They put a sign up, no warning,
Wait,
just
now this is
shut
in
down.
the,
He had a table. He had a reserved table.
Yeah, the Hancock, the 95th and 96th floor.
I don't know. I've obviously gone up to the top of the Hancock Building and seen. Is that the one at the very top where you?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's an amazing. We used to go. I never ate there, but we used to go for drinks there all the time. And closing it down, huh? Why?
No, it's closed, like abruptly, just like
Why?
that, closed yesterday.
Yeah,
well, they
right.
said it was because of COVID, which is just that's so 2 years ago. I think they should just say that it's a dangerous spot. They're not getting the clientele they used to get. They're not getting the tables reserved, and they just use COVID as an excuse.
I saw that. By the way, did you guys happen to watch any of that pathetic debate?
Yes, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
You did? You sat through
Yes,
the
I
whole
did
thing?
because it's my job
So,
to.
something was missing from something. Something was missing from that debate, and it was a discussion of the topic that you just mentioned, Bidenomics.
It was, and I've always thought we've got a really great field of candidates, but I just don't think that was a good discussion. I had a hard time hearing it. But what was most interesting, by the way, Amy, congratulations to you for making it through that whole thing. I have to watch that stuff for my job too, but I couldn't. After about midway through, I just finally had to turn the thing off because it was pathetic. But I did turn on the after the debate commentary. And did you happen to see Gavin Newsom?
Oh yeah.
That guy is Bill Clinton. I mean, that guy has to be the slickest politician I've ever seen. So Brett Baer, I don't know if you saw this, Dan, but Brett Baer asked him about why do you pay $6.50 a gallon for gas in California, when the rest of the country is still only paying $4.50 a gallon, which is still very high. And you know what Gavin Newsom said, Dan? He said because of price gouging by the energy.
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not
novel.
That's not novel. Come on.
He's so pathetic.
Even if you believe that, that the oil companies were price gouging, why is it that they're price gouging more in California than everywhere else in the country?
Because
you're
they deserve
a Gavin
it.
Newsom fan. You like Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom is not impressive. There's nothing. I mean, this is
he's slick.
This
Have
is
you
such a
seen his
tired
hair?
act.
That
This
guy
is such a
so
tired,
handsome.
played out act.
I mean, every time Amy sees him, she just fawns over him.
Well,
Oh God, no! I
understand.
find him
The best
repulsive.
hair.
You're the one who fawns over him.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, that's right.
You got a man crush.
my God.
That's right. Didn't you say on
Yes,
this?
he did.
You said on this show that if you were gay, you would consider Gavin Newsom or something like
I
that,
didn't
didn't you?
say that. I retracted that statement.
Okay, good. You better.
We better watch out, guys, because seriously, that guy is so slick. I mean, and he is going to have this great debate. I can't wait.
I can't wait. November 30th.
But yeah, and I know DeSantis a little bit, so I just said, be careful. I mean, yeah, you got all the arguments on your side. I mean, no rational person would say that California is doing better than Florida, but he's going to call. Are you ready for this? I guarantee it. I know what Gavin Newsom is going to say. He's going to say we're the freedom state.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that'll be a fascinating debate for two candidates that may run for president in 2028. But in terms of 2023 and 2024, obviously the big winner from the Wednesday debate was still Trump doing the counter programming with the auto workers at UAW. But I wonder on the economic piece, this whole economic nationalism versus leftist globalism. I mean, it's a good construct. But did anything he said about forcing countries to buy certain numbers of vehicles, or we're not going to provide military presence there? Anything he said under the heading of economic nationalism trouble you?
Trump?
Yeah, Trump.
No comment.
Really?
All right.
Is
this interview over?
What's going on?
If somebody wants to stay in somebody's good graces.
I have a right to remain silent.
All right. Hey, and I respect your constitutional right to not incriminate yourself, Steve Moore. Steve Moore, economist,
I'll
Govzilla.
never work in this town again if I answer that question.
Steve Moore, economist, Govzilla author. Thanks, Steve. We're sorry, I didn't mean to jeopardize your career.
Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
To say he lived an interesting life is an understatement. Father Dwight Longnecker is a Catholic convert with a fascinating story. And Saturday, October 21st, he's coming to St. James at Sagbridge Church to share his story, his insights on today's world, and a mysterious imaginary line linking 7 monasteries from Ireland to Israel. Don't miss Morning of Recollection, featuring Father Longnecker, a prolific writer, blogger at Standing on My Head, and author of numerous books including Beheading Hydra and Immortal Combat. Be inspired with a plan to battle the cultural currents of our day and hear a fascinating presentation on the Sword of St. Michael, the imaginary line linking 7 monasteries. This one-time event is Saturday, October 21st from 9 a.m. until 12 noon at St. James at Sagbridge Church in Lamont, 10600 Archer Ave, corners of Route 83 and Archer Avenue. To sign up, go to historicstjames.org. Seating is limited. That's historicstjames.org to reserve your spot at Morning of Recollection with Father Longnecker.
Did you just ask our 14-year-old technical producer if he has any Prilosec?
Yeah, I have heartburn. And then he
How
said he
old
brought
are
in
you?
Balance of Nature.
Prilosec.
What, you've never had heartburn?
No.
It's because Tums don't work. The only thing that works is Prilosec.
You know, it's ironic.
What?
Dianne Feinstein's last words is, does anybody have Prilosec?
Oh, you just stop that now. I'm not going anywhere.
Weather is cooling down.
She
but
went somewhere.
The savings
oh my God,
are...
I'm so rude. What is wrong with me?
Shock jock. You and Paul Vallis. Weather's cooling down. Savings are heating up at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Dan Proft here. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned Mazda, you need to visit Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. You'll find the Mazda you want, and the price you see is the price you get. No games, no gimmicks. Right now is a great time to buy a new Mazda with limited time incentives that only come around once a year. You can lease a 2023 Mazda CX-30 for $289 a month or a 2023 Mazda CX-5 for $315 a month. Or for $539 a month, you can lease the all-new 2024 Mazda CX-90. All lease terms, 33 months, with $39.95 down, plus tax, title, license, and the $324.24 dock fee. With approved credit through Mazda Capital Services for qualified buyers. And to keep your Mazda running great all year round, schedule your next service appointment online at WilkinsMazdaCars.com. WilkinsMazdaCars.com. Wilkins Mazda is conveniently located in leafy Elmhurst off York Road and 290, just minutes from Oak Brook, downtown, and Schaumburg. Experience the next level of excellence at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Visit WilkinsMazdaCars.com. See dealer for details.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
All right, this just in, Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
That pizza pie will give you heartburn.
Oh my! Why are you so obsessed with my asking for Prilosec? I'm not old because I have heartburn.
What, would you have kielbasa for breakfast? Who asked? No, seriously. How could you have heartburn at 8:30 in the morning?
Because I get up early. Not today. But I mean, I normally get up.
I don't know.
When I drink coffee,
it sounds old. It sounds like you're an old person.
Okay, well, thanks. It'll happen to you, okay? Oh, man.
I mean, many years from now.
Uh-huh. All right, Balance of Nature. Oh, yeah, I just got my monthly supply of my BON, Balance of Nature. 800-247-8751.
The heartburn is rushing to your head.
No, I'm making up no numbers. Oh, I'm sorry. This is why I need Balance of Nature. Not getting enough fruits and veggies on my own, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 31 different fruits and vegetables. And there's no preservatives, no dyes. It's all natural, GMO, gluten-free. And the number to call to be one of the cool kids is 800-246-8751. 800-246-8751.
Somebody's not going to the gala next year.
Use discount code. I'm laughing because I remember one time I laughed. I laughed during a live.
You've only laughed once in your life, and that was at the University of Iowa.
No, I
and that's
laughed
when you had a guy on your shoulders at a Delta Phi party or
What is
whatever.
going on over there?
Goodness.
You know, this is the same reaction that Di-Fi had before. Never mind.
No, I'm laughing because one time I laughed during a live read and I got called into the general manager's office.
He's right behind you.
Yeah, I was saying,
God.
well, the history's about to repeat itself, I think.
We have a new general manager, but I know. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to
giggles.
Balance of Nature.
No, I love
Balance
Dr.
of
Howard,
Nature
the
Horde.
family. It's great. Balance of Nature gives you energy enough to laugh, and even you can laugh at yourself. 800-246-8751.
AM 560.
Exactly. Just cut it. It's just cut it off. You just got. That was like the Apollo Theater. The clown just came out with the hook.
Use discount code Chicago. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
If Amy can collect herself, we're going to do Open Mic Friday because it's that time of the week. 8:38. Taking your calls. 312-642-5600. Turnkey.pro key. Turnkey. Turnkey.
Here, just turn it over
just
to me.
forget it, Mike. Take it away.
62 degrees at 8:31. The longest serving female senator in U.S. history has died. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from Washington to the reaction of the death of a California senator.
California Democrat Dianne Feinstein, who broke barriers over a political career in 50 years, has died at the age of 90. First elected to the U.S. Senate in 1992, Feinstein went on to chair the Intelligence Committee, leading investigations on the use of CIA interrogation techniques, and until 2020 was the top Democrat on the Senate's Judiciary Committee during contentious Supreme Court confirmations. She is credited with getting a 10-year assault weapons ban approved in 1994. Before her time in Washington, Feinstein was elected to San Francisco's Board of Supervisors and served as the city's mayor for a decade. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Republicans are refusing now to back down on demands that funding for border security be added to any stopgap spending bill.
We're looking for an opportunity to solve what everybody acknowledges is a crisis at the border.
Senator John Cornyn of Texas says sometimes it takes a crisis to open the eyes of every lawmaker. Former President Donald Trump is set to join other Republican candidates in Anaheim, California, for the California GOP Fall Convention. He's scheduled to be there along with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Student loan payments starting up again after a 3-year pause. Payments were paused for many borrowers during the COVID-19 pandemic, but they start up again on Sunday. A 10-year-old girl is seriously hurt, shot inside of a home on the south side. The child in a back bedroom last night when shots were fired from outside in the 6400 block of South Racine. Cook County judge acquits 2 Chicago police officers accused of shooting an unarmed man last year. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox says she was obligated to charge the officers.
When we don't hold them accountable, when we don't bring the charge where we believe the charge is sufficient, that flies in the face of the credibility of our entire justice system, and that's why we brought those charges.
Governor Pritzker defending the state's lack of response to the illegal immigrant crisis in Chicago.
When you add up everything that we've put forward, about $328 million from the state to assist in the management of the asylum seekers that have come to Illinois.
The Pritzker administration says they're trying to identify existing brick and mortar facilities that could house illegal migrants. An iconic fine dining restaurant near the top floor of the John Hancock building in Chicago is closed. Signature Room at 95th have been serving customers for more than 30 years. They said they faced severe economic hardships during the COVID-19 pandemic, and then other challenges have been greater than anticipated. Welcome to National Coffee Day. You can expect some discounts, of course, but studies have also shown that moderate coffee intake could help you live longer and help prevent illnesses like heart disease, Parkinson's, and depression. Blackhawks 2-1 overtime winners over St. Louis in the preseason at the United Center. Cubs in a free fall right now after a 5-3 loss to the Braves, swept in Atlanta, a half game now behind Miami for the final NL wildcard spot. White Sox 3-1 winners over the Diamondbacks. College football tomorrow, the Fighting Irish and number 16 Duke. Fighting Illini take on Purdue at Ross-Ade. Northwestern goes for the upset when they host number 7 Penn State. Bears and Broncos on Sunday. The news is a service of MyPillow and the 6-pack bath towel sets back in stock. Proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet provides that soft feel you look for in a towel, and you get 50% savings with promo code LIBERTY. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Freedom Summit Chicago tickets are now on sale. Join AM 560, The Answer, on November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest for Freedom Summit, featuring Rand Paul, Judge Janine Pirro from Fox News, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group of Bartlett, the Illinois Family Institute, and by Alpha Wealth Group.
Hey there, Charlie Kirk here. You've probably been hearing my colleagues and I talking about investing with Why Refi for a while now. You may have some questions, so let's review. It's true, you can earn up to 10.25% fixed rate of return that's not correlated to the stock market or the Fed. You could turn your income on or off, compound it whatever you choose, and there are absolutely no fees. There's no attack on principal if you ever need your money back. and you'll get your monthly statement with no surprises. Just go to investyrefi.com. That's invest the letter Y and then refy.com, or call 888-YREFY24. Folks, this is a solid investment that actually helps people. Just go to investyrefi.com. That's invest the letter Y and then refy.com, or call 888-YREFY24 and tell them that Charlie Kirk sent you. So call 888-YREFY24. Solid investment. It really helps people. Call 888-YREFY24 and tell them that Charlie Kirk sent you.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I gained a lot of weight because I was so bored. All I did was bake and eat, okay? And I knew I wasn't eating right, and I wasn't feeling right, and I didn't have any energy. And I said, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it. Not only did it give me energy and help me feel better, but I've lost 35 pounds. I know Balance of Nature is not a weight loss type program, and it may not work for everybody that way, but for me it has, and it's given me energy. And I've been able to do stuff that I haven't been able to do in years.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
8:38. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Boost Infinite. If you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, you need to stop. Check out the amazing wireless offer from Boost Infinite. For more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Pound 250 Boost Infinite. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto dial text message and call. That's pound 250 and Boost Infinite. Inbound on the Edens, 22 Lake Cook Road to the junction. The Kennedy, not so bad. It's under an hour right now. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike, 48 in, 390 to the old post office. Stevenson, 40 minutes into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. The Dan Ryan, fairly mild, 22, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. Toll roads are okay. Bartlett commuters, Route 59 and West Bartlett Road, reported an accident. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Patchy fog burning off. We'll have some sunshine for the afternoon and warming up to 76. Clear and 60 overnight. Sunny, very warm, beautiful. 82 tomorrow. 64 degrees officially at O'Hare. Next news at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Open mic! Open mic Friday! Call in now! Open mic Friday!
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. It's that time of the week, Open Mic Friday. Taking your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Oh, there, I got it right after my little Biden LLJ Cool J moment there previously. Calls on the turnkey.pro answer line with comments, compliments, criticisms, concerns, general correct pottery. We'll take it all, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. You know, we want to pick up where we started the show, too, the closure of the Signature Room on the 95th floor of the Hancock Building. What can that space, valuable space, idyllic space be used for that's more in keeping with the current character of the city? You know, abortion mill, marijuana dispensary.
Oh, maybe it could be
video
combo.
poker room, title loan company.
Housing of migrants. I mean,
yeah.
what a great space for them, because they're on Michigan Avenue at the end of Chicago. Just move them up to the 95th, 96th floor.
You could set up a little pod city there, I guess, up at on the 95th floor. Anything else you wanted to mention?
Well, I was
heartburn?
with the big guy yesterday, and he had a message for the mayor of El
You were
Paso.
with Joe Biden yesterday?
No, you say the big guy. The big guy to you is
President
no,
Biden.
The big guy to Hunter is,
Right.
and his associates is
The
President Biden.
Big guy to me is J.B. Pritzker, and he has a message, okay, to the mayor of El Paso, because the last 7 buses, we've had 27 buses this week alone. 7 of them came from El Paso because they had 2,000 people a day.
I will say that I think that the mayor of El Paso needs to listen to the cities that he's sending folks to and start thinking about whether or not this ought to be spread across the country. Why is he not sending anybody to Idaho, Wyoming?
Because they're not sanctuary cities, they're sanctuary states.
That's not why they're doing it. That is not why they're doing it.
Right, then
You
tell me
know
why.
that they're doing it because they're sending them to areas where they think that people will take care of them and where people will put the resources forward because this is a humanitarian crisis. But the reality is that states that are controlled by Republicans ought to be offering the same services. We all are immigrants. Virtually everybody in the United States is an immigrant. And many people, including my relatives who arrived here 150 years ago, got very little help, but a little bit of help from local social service agencies like we're helping to provide for them here in Chicago now. So I just want to be clear that Chicago, you can use whatever words to describe. We are a city and a state that cares deeply about people who are living through a humanitarian crisis. That is why people are sending folks here. And we're doing everything we can, but we need more help from the federal government, and we need more help overall to solve for this.
Dan, what do you think about that answer?
Your ancestors came over 150 years ago, didn't get much help. How did it turn out for you? Any word on that? How did it turn out for the Pritzker family?
Weren't you born with $2 billion already in your name, sir? Yes or no? Answer the question.
It's the glass houses in which they live, and no migrants allowed there. It's remarkable. Well, we have 50 laboratories of democracy, and again, if you want to run a meth lab, Governor, then it's your choice to do that. You're supported by the electorate, so good for you. First of all, of course, all of the premises that he mentioned are fallacious. Number one, that everybody coming here is fleeing some sort of persecution. We know that's not true.
No.
In fact, we know many of the people that have come across the border haven't even applied for asylum. That's number one. Number two, that people are being sent to communities that will provide these services to them. Well, that may be so, but not everybody wants to do that. Number one. Number two, Republican states are making some Republican dominated states, governed states are making decisions. But again, it's migrants choosing where they want to go. So if you think that is an endorsement of Chicago and the governance in Chicago, then maybe you're right. Maybe that is an endorsement, and maybe that's consistent with what the people want in Chicago or even the state of Illinois, since we're a sanctuary state. So let's just let it all work out based on people making individual choices in terms of their representation and then in terms of the policies their representatives advance. Fine. That's fine by me.
But we are giving, and it hit me just like a wet towel on the face yesterday when I was in front of, because I parked next to the Inn of Chicago to go to his press conference. The people that are there have the nicest stuff. We have given them $500 car seats and strollers. And everyone, I showed you the picture. Everyone was walking out there. I'm like, are you kidding me that we give them the Brexit? It's a really nice, you don't know about strollers and car seats for babies, but are you kidding me? And everyone has bright, fancy backpacks and beautiful clothes. They get 3 meals a day. They get to live for free on Michigan Avenue.
Rick.
It's insane.
Rick, Downers Grove.
Hey, good morning. Hey, this ties in with just what you guys are talking about. The people of Chicago, complaining that the city is giving away all the stuff to the illegals and neglecting their communities. This is the one question I never hear asked, and it should be asked. Who did you vote for in the last mayoral election? And if they answer honestly, I guarantee 98% of them voted Democrat, 90% voted Brandon Johnson, and then I would tell them you are getting exactly what you voted for, and it's not going to change until you change.
But by the way, thanks for the call, Rick. But by the way, what was the difference in viewpoints between Brandon Johnson and any other mayoral candidate? I'm sorry, was somebody advocating a repeal of Chicago sanctuary city status? Was somebody else promoting the idea of border security? No. No. So don't give me this Brandon Johnson. It's the entirety of the field because it's the entirety of the city until consequences are visited. And then some people get upset and they go to these community meetings and they mouth off. And that's all well and good. And nothing changes.
No, I'm telling you. It's going to get ugly around here, I think, in the wintertime.
Oh, well.
Because more are coming, and they're taking up our public spaces, such as park districts. When your kiddies' MLB league's not going to be happening. Sorry. We have migrants living there.
I mean.
You voted for it. Just keep telling people. Well,
and it's not limited to the city. It's the entire state. Because you just had Governor Pritzker telling these beautiful lies and offering the sentimental bull jive. It's the entire state. You had your choice, and what middle-income families in the suburban areas have decided to do is forfeit any interest in wealth creation per the value of your homes, per property taxes, and your overall tax burden. You just forfeited any prospect of real wealth creation. Yep. And the rule of law. And you've done it why? Because your wife is pro-abortion? Okay, that's the trade-off you made. Fine. No problem. We'll see you on the other side. Henry on the northwest side.
Yeah, I'm asking, my question is, why aren't they bombarding the airways with the confession of Joe Biden firing somebody, Remember that? I don't see that anymore. Did they take it down?
I don't know what you're talking about. The confession of Joe Biden.
There's a video of Joe Biden bragging how he got that
the prosecutor. Yeah, Victor Shokin, how he got him fired. Yeah.
The Senate floor, they should have just, every time a Democrat said there's no evidence, post that video in their face and say, what's that about?
All right, thanks for the call, Henry. Yeah, all part of the impeachment inquiry process. Rich in Indian Head Park.
Yes, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. What I wanted to talk about is on these hearings, all the Democrats do is attack the Republicans. They make statements like Ocasio-Cortez made that the Republicans are fabricating evidence, and then you have this Raj Krishnamurti of Illinois saying that Turley's not a good witness, that he made some kind of opinion that he wrote in 2006. Why are they talking about things like this instead of asking questions why the Republicans are bringing up all of this information about Trump?
Yeah.
I mean about Biden.
Yeah.
And then you have this Crockett. She more or less said they're wasting their time, and said that that the only thing that Biden's done wrong is loving his son too much.
That's right. Thanks for the call, Rich. That's right. That's what why are they doing it? Raja Krishnamurti, he's a cipher. He's a flim-flam man. I know somebody that knows Raj pretty well. And he's like, this guy, my friend tells me, he's actually a pretty good guy. He doesn't believe a lot of the stuff.
Oh.
You hear this all the time. I know that person. They don't actually believe all of the stuff that the party does. They're not like a radical leftist. I said, he's worse than a radical leftist. And that's what you have to understand. And that's what the response needs to be. The person who is just a cipher and is just drafting off what the party is doing, talking about the new Marxists, what they're doing because it's in his political interest to do it, is worse than the committed ideologue. Because the committed ideologue may be wrong, but at least they're honest. These guys, these fork-tongued hacks like Raja, nice job, Northwest Suburban Cook County. And then you're going to complain about what exactly? What are you going to complain about in the Northwest Suburban Cook and the Collar counties? Look at your representation. And I'm sorry, what policy decisions are you in the position to complain about? It's the same thing that I said way back when at an NAACP forum on the west side of Chicago when I was running for governor 15 years ago. Everybody in office in the county, city, state, because they had all the constitutional offices at the time, too.
Right.
Everybody, you guys voted for them, right? Everybody's happy with who's in office. You certainly didn't want any Republicans. Yeah, oh, yeah, right. Good. Well, so how's it going? Is it good here on the West Side? Good jobs, good schools, safe neighborhoods, economic opportunity, vibrant. Is that what's happening here? Oh, well, if it's not, then maybe you want to reflect on that. Well, now you can say the same thing to the entire state of Illinois, as that mentality spread like a cancer. John, Bridgeport.
Yeah, hi, Dan and Amy. Hey, Dan, good going on that, for saying that. So you guys are great. I want to tell you that. So here's the deal. Yeah, we're going to get a homeless shelter for the illegals here at 2241 South Halstead, so basically Bridgeport / Pilsen. And the thing is, what about this? Didn't you guys hear that supposedly it's costing us $7,000 per month to take care of one illegal? What are they getting for that? I think who's ever paying that, meaning us taxpayers, are getting ripped off. $7,000? And why are they getting 3 meals a day? Because when you're not working, do you really need 3 meals a day? And I worked all the time. I hardly had 2 meals a day because I'm going out the door with just maybe a glass of water and a piece of toast in my stomach. And I'm like thinking, 3 meals a day, really? So we're giving them a non-reality world that they're thinking maybe America's all like this for everybody. I mean, they couldn't all be like that, but I'm sure they're being told that, or at least by what they're getting, they are. When's that going to end? Where's the end game on that? When are they going to be on their own? Here, you're on your own now. So, yeah, okay.
Thanks for the call, John. Well,
And I wonder how many are going to want to go back when winter hits and they're put in
they're
tents.
not going to go back to Venezuela.
Yeah.
That's the distinction, John. You know, that's regular working guy with no clout, part of a group of magical people that a political party is using as mascots to advance government power. They're cut in, you're not. You're cut out. Simple. Mac in the 219.
Hey, I got a way to revitalize the signature room. Have Governor Fatso and Mayor Magic Johnson pass out free gift cards for 5 meals a day to the immigrants for the signature room. You'll have that place packed in no time. And by the way, anybody in Illinois, we hate your guts in Indiana. Do not move here. Move to Iowa. Move to Wisconsin. Check out Nebraska. Oklahoma is booming. But Indiana hates your guts. Don't come here.
Thank you. What is Mac trying to say exactly? Chuck in Delavan.
Chuck.
Hey, Dan, thanks for mentioning my garage band in high school, Kielbasa, for breakfast. Hey, let's go tomorrow, guys. Everybody, let's do some day drinking. Let's start out at Turner's Hideaway in Genoa City. They got a band there at 2. When the first set ends, then we shoot over to Lake Como, and we go see Jess Huffman and her husband, Scott, and Unhitched over by the next-door pub, Lakeside. It'll be very exciting. Maybe even you can wave at the Mars boat, and they'll come over, and you can jump on a boat and take a boat ride. It's going to be a great day, great weekend. You guys enjoy.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
it's
the
going to be
call,
warm
Chuck.
and sunny in the 80s.
Sorry, Chuck. Amy can't day drink. It gives her heartburn.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
As you walk around the yard this spring, you'll likely see some cracked or sunken concrete. Maybe a sidewalk, stoop, driveway, or patio. These problems will only get worse, but there is an easy solution. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer with Permaseal. Our poly-level process can raise and level sunken concrete quickly and effectively. putting an end to eyesores and dangerous trip hazards. Polylevel is the quickest, least expensive, and most durable system to repair your sunken concrete problems. So don't live with a problem that will only get worse. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL for a free estimate. Permaseal has been helping Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana homeowners making their homes healthier and more valuable for over 40 years and has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't replace it, raise it. Call 800-421-7325 or visit permaseal.net.
Your best for being better, Permaseal.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Constitutions in many countries talk about the concept of freedom of speech. What's always set America apart is our dedication to free speech in practice. Once, opposing censorship was a bedrock principle of liberalism. But times have changed. A Real Clear Opinion poll reveals that free speech is becoming a partisan issue, with Democrats more willing to allow government to regulate speech. This is dangerous. If government decides what information we can access, it decides what we know, or at least what we have the opportunity to know. That's the end of any country where the people are supposed to rule. For a democratic republic to function as intended, an informed electorate is indispensable. Americans of all political stripes need to understand the First Amendment protects the liberty of every citizen, regardless of party, regardless of the popularity of the opinion.
Publicpolicy.pepperdine.edu. Sometimes Balance of Nature gets feedback that Dr. Howard should be played by a better actor. Well, maybe they're right, because I am not an actor, and I don't want to be. I hope that you understand this is real. People are sharing their success stories because their quality of life has improved.
The acute rehab was quite a journey. I thought maybe this is the best it's going to be until I took Balance of Nature.
I had low energy, I wasn't sleeping good at night, and then my wife suggested we try Balance of Nature. My energy came back, it's changed my life.
A surf session can be pretty physically demanding, and Balance of Nature helps me do that.
Quality is what life is about, and that's what we strive for at Balance of Nature. We are a results-based company looking to improve your quality of life.
Go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, thanks so much for making us part of your morning, part of your lives. We couldn't do it without you. Dan, what are you going to do this weekend?
Hey, check out, I got a promo.
Oh.
Check out my new Counterculture podcast. It's on all the platforms now. Bob Woodson, the great Bob Woodson of the Woodson Center. Yeah, he tells great stories. It's a ton of fun. Check it out, Counterculture, on all the podcast platforms. And at American Greatness, amgreatness.com.
All right, thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, single man for now, and to Quinn McCarthy back here on Monday morning. Have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be warm this weekend, high near 80 both days. It is now 9 a.m., WIND, Chicago.
This is a Fox News alert. A U.S. Senator has died. I'm Dave Anthony. Dianne Feinstein, a Democrat from California.
History will judge us